open their big mouths and I'll cane talk. Talk, talk.
This week, astronomers were rushing around clapping their little hands together because they found a planet just like ours. A rocky planet on which the surface temperature is like Surrey on a balmy summer's eve, where little fluffy clouds skid across the azure blue of an outer space sky, and little alien sheep gamble across pea-green meadows to have their heads ripped off by giant, blood-sucking alien monsters with 6 feet and teeth like chainsaws. And it's only 120,000 miles away. Oh, no. No, it's 120 million miles away. No, that's wrong too. It's 120 trillion miles away.
What?
If we set out now in the fastest rocket we can muster, we'll get there on the 7th day of never. This week, back home, crazy Russian Premier Vlad the Insaner ratcheted up the war of words with the West by invoking an actual war by claiming that America... Has it died out already? He's tired. Liberace is... well, he's dead.
He just gave up.
This week, back home, crazy Russian Premier Vlad the Insaner... again, ratcheted up the war of words with the West by invoking an actual war by claiming that America's missile defence system, which is to be sited in Czechoslovakia, to intercept the nuclear bombs which crazy Iranian Premier Mahmoud Ahmadinejad will be sending our way soon, has restarted the Cold War, heading to a call for a few fewer insane heads of state, please. Even Robert Mugabe is on board with that. And finally, as you've heard over and over and over again, Kent suffered a catastrophic natural disaster that is usually only seen in movies. A huge earthquake measuring 4-point-something on the rectum scale. The seismological equivalent of a man's hat blows off, no one hurt. And the news has been full of nothing else. I was watching the BBC Breakfast News, those comic dopes who present that programme, and there's, and we are getting a lot of text, because they're always desperate for text, because that's what you want on a news programme, is somebody who's got enough time on their hands at 8 in the morning to text a news show, so they'll read it out. And can you say hello to James and Jeff and Andy and Sarah and all my friends? That's what it's come to. Anyway, oh yes, and we will definitely investigate that. People that said that their alarm clock fell off the table. Oh, Struth, let's send a crew. Like that's the only news in the world. Mind you, Panorama, the whole thing was about ITV. It's just mates having a go at each other. Because they all drink with each other, don't they? They all know each other, telly people. They're of a type. You're very quiet.
I was just listening.
Oh, right. Giggling. Like a fool.
Giggling away.
We are getting very wet in this country, though, aren't we?
In what sense?
Like, whenever there's anything like the tornado, the London tornado.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that, yeah.
And this earthquake. It's not the same country that went through the Blitz and, you know, bring on your bombs, Hitler, we're ready for you.
Yeah. And did the Queen actually go to see the devastation in the north of London, or has she gone to Kent, like her mother did with the East End?
No, I can look Kent in the face.
No.
Crawling over the broken chimney.
Yeah. Have crews out there desperately trying to find something that's fallen down, yeah. Haven't come up with anything yet.
I saw them circling around and it was literally like one chimney on the floor. Terrible.
And yeah, that's all the news is full of. It's our #1 story.
Yeah.
Not a mention of the football, by the way. Did I close my ears?
Oh yes, you're trying not to listen.
Oh no, well I've heard it already.
Oh,
what
right.
an incredible day. Good grief.
Is it something to do with the final now? That is, I believe I've been told that is Man U likely to win now. Is that what it's to do with? I just try and show a vague interest to my husband when he mentions. I say, oh, that sounds great.
Because I heard it at the other place, you just can't avoid the news, it's everywhere, that Man U were 2-0 down when they reported it, which presumably was at half time. I'm not sure that's actually correct, but that was what, it was whatever o'clock it was.
Right.
And I thought, oh no. And then they won 4-2. They came back in the second half and scored 4 goals. Now, if I've spoilt it for you, I'm very sorry, but everyone spoils it for me. Every Saturday I know the result before I've seen the match. I've paid for watching it, a vast amount, but I always know what the result is before I get around to actually watching the match, which is my penalty for working on Saturdays.
Oh, that is I didn't realise you were paying for that every week.
Yeah, huge amounts.
That's awful. You should have really made a conscious effort to block it. Just shut the news off. We could have shut the fader down.
Well, I can shut the news off in the other place if I just...
Oh, can you?
If I make sure that I come back in 3 minutes, because they're always 3 minutes on the nose.
So then you
So
can
I can sit in a silent studio while the news is on, which is a bit scary. Because you're not sure that anything's actually going out. Yeah. Well, they could finish 5 seconds early, but they're under pain of death supposed to finish at exactly 3 minutes, which is why often, come the end of the hour, they'll say, and that's the news, and it's 3 minutes past 5. Because they just run out.
You can't really fill with another story when that happens.
Yes. So, I can avoid the news in the other place, but here, you can't. I can't sit with my fingers in my ears, so...
You could pop out into that bit behind you, where the pigeons go sometimes.
But I don't know how long the news is, isn't it? Just however long they want to make it.
No, it's exactly 3 minutes as well,
Yeah, it has
isn't
to be
it?
exactly.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, think
And
of the
it is
excitement I
exact.
could have had.
I know.
Did anybody see the, now this is going back a week now, in fact exactly a week, because Match of the Day's on today. They had a woman commentator. You read about that, but did you see it?
No.
Alex?
No.
Neither of us follow the football
You
too
don't
well.
like beer, you don't like cars, you don't like football, what do you like? Now, hang on a minute, where it is? A woman football commentator. TV flop Jackie to get more matches, screams The Sun. This is the same paper that had a glowing review from all of their readers, apart from one who said something like, oh, like, birds shouldn't be doing it. Something of that order, scrawled in green crayon. BBC's Chiefs last night backed football commentator Jackie Oatley. Despite a barrage of criticism about her debut on Match of the Day, viewers were far from impressed with the blonde 32-year-old. I put the blonde part in, but that's what they were thinking. Because you can't actually see her, but she's still a stunner. Have you noticed? This is what I was banging on about last week. Why do women have to be fantastically gorgeous to be on TV, even if you don't see them? That just didn't make any sense at all. Viewers were far from impressed by the 32-year-old when the 32-year-old became the first woman to cover a match for the Saturday night show. Did they give her another match tonight? I bet they didn't give her Chelsea or Man U. They will have given her something, you know, exotic like.
Except for her first one, it's bound to be hard, isn't it?
Well, she's done it on another much more boring radio station than this, isn't she?
Yeah, but if you're, you know.
One called her performance during Fulham's 1-1 draw with Blackburn. Now there's a game I bet you'd wish you were at. 1-1, eh? Fulham and Blackburn. Truly horrendous, they said it was, while another said the commentary sounded like noise at a kid's party. BBC head of football stood by his decision to give Jackie her chance and insisted she will cover more matches. Well, he's not going to say I'm going to fire her because you told me to, is he? Of course he's going to stand by his decision. Jackie Oatley's a fine young broadcaster with a deep love of football. She deserved a chance and was given Fulham versus Blackburn.
Boring.
Yes. How did she do? She did fine. Well, I thought it was interesting. It was like, if you'd written down what she said, it was exactly to the words what a male commentator would say. They all say the same things. They all speak in... They've got about 15 cliches, which they just rearrange depending on what's actually happening at the time. They don't seem to make anything up at all. Oh, he's received the ball in space. There's one. They're closing him down. There's another. So they all have exactly the same way of describing everything that could possibly happen in a football match. So it doesn't really matter who it is. No. The one thing that I did that struck me about her was the tone. This is stepping into dangerous territory here, but you've noticed most people on the radio are men, right? Yeah. That's because most people who voice adverts aimed at women are also men. Your feminine products, none of which I want to mention right now, are all sold to you with a deep, booming, round, brown voice, right? Because it's easier on the ear than someone with a higher voice. So the few women that are in radio or television are all... They either have a lower register, like that woman always sounds like she's having sensual relations. The woman who does books and arty-farty stuff on the telly. What's her name?
I'm not sure which...
Yeah, her. The one that's... oh, it's very breathy. That one. So you either got that kind of voice, or I'm sure they're schooled to lower it a bit.
Yeah.
But if you're commentating on football, you can lower the tone of your voice when the play is going on in the middle of the pitch. But when it gets towards a goal, you naturally get more excited. And when you get more excited, men just get louder. Women, however, they get the voice becomes so high, only dogs can hear them.
Although men's do, I think, go up a little bit, don't they?
Yes.
Even, I know they get louder as well.
Yeah, but from a lower start point.
Yeah. And that feels more dramatic when you hear a man.
Yes, that's right. When Motti actually wakes up. But that's the only thing that struck me, was that when she gets... When a woman commentator would get excited, then vases would start shattering in your living room. That's the only thing that struck me. Hey, did you hear that, Jethro?
Yeah, I did. I think it's true. I think it carries on through from early childhood up into adolescence and through into adulthood, actually, because I was walking to the shops the other day in my little locality, and there were some children playing by the swings, and the girlies, I think in a situation of high anxiety and tension, got excited, and they just scream, whereas the boys sort of punch one another. It's always the case, isn't it? Girls sort of stand there and sort of throw a wobbly and scream, and blokes ruffle and tuffle with one another.
I don't know. I mean, there's a school that I have to pass if I go a certain way. If I'm late, I have to go the quick way to the tube, and I have to pass this school. And at playtime, pity the poor people that live nearby, because it's just one... It sounds like a massacre is going on in there. It's just one long collective scream. Why do children scream so much?
Is that more from the girlies than it is from the boys?
I don't know. It's at that age, they're indistinguishable, but they all shout all the time. Is it that they're actually exercising their vocal cords and they have no control over it? It's like just a natural urge in order to learn how to speak and project. That they just have to scream at that age in order to break their voice in, or is this or what? What's going on there?
Well, having not studied the psychology where did you go to?
Brunel University.
Brunel. Yeah. At a high level, obviously. Yeah. By people with professorial knowledge about things. I don't know, but I just know that girls. Have you seen girls fight? Actually, when girls fight, that is wicked. I've seen girls fight, and they do things, really, really horrible things. They're not like men. They don't sort of stand there and punch. They do things like claw your eyes out.
That's going to be the new series on BBC One, by the way. And that's exactly what it's going to be called, When Girls Fight.
Yeah, it's quite frightening. And they can... the sort of the derogatory term for females, which has got something to do with female dogs. You know that one? When you call them...
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. They can be really, really nasty. You know, when women get into the bitch syndrome, that is horrible. So the negative side of the female psyche, I think, is quite repugnant, actually. I don't think the male side...
Yeah, that's not too great either, no.
No, that's not too great, because they do things like threaten to throw nuclear bombs at one another.
Yes.
You stay off my patch, mate, otherwise I'll chuck a nuclear bomb at you.
Yeah,
right?
kill millions of people.
You get the message, am I coming across clear or not? Because if I'm not, I mean it, that kind of thing. But women sort of cat and bitch, don't they? It's not too pleasant. I don't think it shows the nicer side of humanity, really.
You're painting womanhood with Lady Macbeth's brush.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. All the female wardens in the extermination camps, that were quite happy to.
Oh, great! We're on the Nazi extermination camps already.
Well, wasn't just men.
Previously, I didn't know that, but it's not a subject I wish to really get into that heavily.
Okay. Well, I'll move off. That is humanity. It's dark.
In a nutshell, yeah.
In its terms, but I thought I'd give you some good news from Berkshire.
Good news, eh?
Yeah, that is my marrows, strawberries, pumpkins, and tomato plants are doing very well in the present weather.
Marrows, strawberries, pumpkins, and tomatoes.
Yeah.
You don't grow any of these things, do you?
I do.
Is that a no?
I bought them from the local garden centre. I'm putting water on them, and they're growing bigger because the sunlight comes out and the chlorophyll reacts, and it all does very well. Thank you very much.
Right.
I thought I'd give you positive news rather because there is a focus on negative news, isn't there?
Well, it's the only news that's worth reporting.
No, I think the problem with news is it's got to have mass significance, isn't it? Because
or pictures. If it doesn't have any significance of any kind, but there's great pictures, then it'll get on TV.
Like what? What's an example?
Well, anything.
I know one.
A standoff with police on a bridge somewhere where someone gets shot, that'll get on TV. It's a local death that doesn't make any difference to anybody but their immediate family. But if it's an exciting footage, then it'll get on the news. Or, weather.
I thought of one.
Go on.
Britney Spears' second marriage doesn't work. Her first one lasted about 6 hours because I think she was drunk, didn't she? And then she got married to someone who's sort of physically quite masculine looking, and that lasted for 2 years. And she goes through naturally, and with my compassion and sympathy, she goes through a bit of a wobbly because that's ended, so she shaves her head off. No, it's not a head.
Not completely, no.
and that's good. That's good. That's a good pick, isn't it? That's a good because she's an internationally renowned figure, and she's obviously gone through some kind of female psychological crisis, and so she does this really sensible thing, which is shave your hair off.
Yeah, well, it's out with the old. I'm going to shave that man right off of my head. Yeah,
that's what it is. It's a cleansing, isn't it? It's a cathartic experience.
And then she went and lost about 15 stone in a weekend, and everybody's wondering, oh right, how did you do that then? I think she had it sucked out of her and made into a pet.
Oh, that sounds like a horror story, actually.
Did you hear about the pets the Japanese women are buying in Japan, of course? Where else?
Can I guess? Guess.
Go on then.
So the question is, what kind of pets are Japanese women buying?
Yeah.
Let me think. What are they obsessed with, Japanese people? Struggle, competition?
I'll give you a clue.
Is it canines?
No, it's dogs.
Oh, I was so close!
I know.
I was really so close.
Better luck next time.
Okay. Before I go...
Yeah, and in closing.
I saw a DB Vantage this week. I love them.
Oh, well, what's not to like? Apart from the price and the running costs.
But they are...
And their unreliability, apparently.
Unreliability?
Apparently.
A high-level engineering like that?
Well, that's what Jeremy Clarkson says.
Oh, dear. Well, if he said it, must be true then. Thanks then, bye.
Ta-ta. Yeah, Japanese women are buying, they want poodles, right? Little yappy poodles. One of these, silly, dogs that, like yours, Luce, that women carry around as a fashion accessory in their handbags.
Do not.
Like Britney Spears.
Mine's much bigger than her dog.
Like girls called Chanel. Spelt with an L, pronounced with a W. They're buying poodles, little miniature poodles. Except little miniature poodles are rather hard to come by. And so, very nasty, unpleasant criminals are shaving lambs.
Oh, no.
And selling them as poodles.
No one would believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thousands of wealthy Japanese ladies have been very disappointed.
Oh, no.
Their little poodles have grown up and eaten their sofa. Yeah. Islington. Hello, John.
All right.
Oh, hang on. Can I get to you in a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, John. The show's getting away from me already, and we've only just begun.
Nick Abbott.
Words, more words.
John.
Nick, hi, how are you doing?
I'm all right, thanks.
That dude you were just speaking to sounds like he raised you with a thesaurus next to him.
Yes.
Tries to think of every single big word. Anyway,
tries to shoehorn as many syllables as he can into any given sentence.
What is with that? Does he think he sounds good or big or?
It's exercising his brain. In 50 years' time, he won't be, he won't be trying to remember where he put his house.
Maybe he's not getting any. Maybe that's what.
Well, listen, who is? It's very unfashionable. No one's doing that anymore.
Well, not in this country. Nick, the reason I was calling was, I'm very... the issue of the woman presenting the football...
Yeah.
I'm quite upset by that.
Really?
Well, I think it's not like women actually play football, apart from the...
Apart from the ones that do?
The one that wear shirts and are lesbians.
Right, all women that play football are lesbians?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Not that that's homophobic in any way.
No!
A lesbian?
No, not at all, no.
No, it's in this age of political correctness that they have female football presenters. I just think it's a very masculine thing. I think it is outrageous that, you know, the BBC have employed a female to do this. Mind you, I haven't actually seen it, so I don't actually know if she's any good. So I'm not really in a position to make an informed decision.
But you called anyway.
But
Thanks, John.
You know, like a London cabbie, you know, like a London cabbie has his opinion. Like,
You've got to stick your oa in, yeah. Okay, I'll point you in the direction of the Thames. Thanks, John. He hasn't seen it, but he doesn't like it anyway. He's going to grow up into an angry old man, as opposed to the angry young man that he is right now. And I think the not getting any part might be a clue to what that call was all about. He absolutely despises it, can't stand it. Hasn't heard it, hasn't seen it. Got no information of any kind whatsoever, but he knows that it's just wrong. Bolton, hello Tam.
Hi Nick.
Tam.
The last two callers you've had have been rather...
Crazy?
Yeah. I actually did listen to... I'm not sure if it was the same lady, but I did hear a woman commentator on 5 Live, and was mild surprise. After 5 minutes, you don't really notice much, but when the action was kind of hotting up, it was a bit, and he's passing the ball, and he's about to shoot in. Oh, what a beautiful save! And,
yeah.
It's a bit, you know, not exactly what, you know. It's just unusual. I wouldn't say that it's unpleasant, but...
I guess that's what it is. It is unusual, and when you're watching a game, it's the commentary is secondary to the visuals, and so when they're in the penalty area, it's almost like you shut your hearing down because you're concentrating on what you're looking at so much, so the commentator just becomes a background thing. And if you're used to the voice, then it's easier just to sideline it. But if it's a voice that you're not used to, if it's in a much higher register and it sounds like it's screaming at you, then it's difficult to concentrate on anything else. That's the only... It's just that we're not used to it, I suppose.
You know, is Motson the Irish guy?
Is he Irish? I don't believe so, no.
There's an Irish football presenter who does a lot of the Premiership and FA Cup.
Well, you're angry about that?
And he's kind of monopolised it because his voice is so, like, iconic in the football commentating thing that I think he's kind of just like...
He's Irish?
He's an Irish guy. He does a lot of the BBC's football.
I've never heard an Irish football commentator, have you? Well, what's the point of me looking through the glass and looking at you two?
I'm not going to know.
I mean, you're staring at the ceiling tiles. You're more interested in that, aren't you?
I find it really hard to follow commentary when I hear it on the radio anyway, because I can't visualise it.
I think it's completely pointless.
Well, some people really enjoy it though, don't they? They can really feel like they're getting the match.
No, it's a second choice. I mean, you don't...
Oh, hey, we gotta go. News is on us.
Arrived not a moment too soon.
When do we start?
Tonight.
Good. I'd like to get in, get on with it, get it over with, and get out. Get it?
Got it.
Good.
We have a weekend special in our How Low auction loose. We're having not having anything. We're giving you the chance to win a fantastic Samsung 42-inch plasma TV. How big's your TV?
Not nearly that big.
Right.
I don't know, 20?
What?
What's a normal size? It's about that.
I don't know. How many inches would you say that was, what's Alex?
We're looking at 10 inches.
You definitely want to get a bigger one than that loose. Don't forget, in the How Low auction, it's your lowest unique bid that wins the auction. So, I mean, you could technically go away with it for just the spare change in your pocket. It closes tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a 42-inch Samsung TV with a new filter bright technology. Viewers can enjoy crisp and bright images in any lighting condition. This plasma TV is equipped with virtual surround sound system which replicates a 3D sound environment.
Groovy.
It also includes a new game mode, making this ideal for big screen gaming.
Yowza.
To bid, text the letters LBC, then your bid in pence to 88821. So if you think 25p is going to be, there's no rhyme or reason to it, you just guess, don't you? So if you just came up with 25p, you'd text LBC 25 to 88821. Get it? Bidders must be 16 or over. Bids cost £1.50 plus your standard network rate. See our website, lbc.co.uk, for full terms and conditions. So it's 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It's the How Low auction. The lowest unique bid wins. That's, do I need to explain that? It's the lowest bid that no one else bids.
Yeah, you have to be the only one.
Yeah, so don't choose 25p, or 1p, or 10. I would choose something like 6, but now, of course, you can't choose 6, so I just said it. You know, something like that. Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. You could psych people out. Because they thought, oh, no, I won't do 6, he just said 6. But 6 might get it. 6 is one of those numbers that often comes up in a How Low. It just seems to be a number that people...
Lucky number.
Yeah, or maybe it's a 1/3 of the number of the beast, so people stay well away. So as your bid in pence to 88821, so if it's 25p, it's LBC 25 to 88821. You must be 16 or over. £1.50 is what the bids cost, plus your standard network rate. lbc.co.uk for full terms and conditions. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Bolton. Hello, Tam.
Hiya, Nick.
Tam.
There's an interesting little story from the news I heard a couple of weeks ago. Do you ever watch the advert on telly about advertising Trident gum?
Trident gum. How does it go?
Well, it has it has a Jamaican guy, and he just goes, Trident gum, mastication for the nation.
I read about that. People are very upset. They think it's racist, right?
Yeah. What do you think? I think that's just a bit of harmless fun, really. I mean...
Well, it looked amusing to me. I can't imagine they'll sell a lot of gum from it. It just didn't seem to make you want to rush out and buy gum, but it didn't offend me.
No, you didn't. Well, I am black, so... And I didn't find it offensive. I'm not Jamaican, so... I think just being overly sensitive.
Yeah, well, all the people that complained, I bet you £1,000 million are white. Not only that, but they're middle class as well. And I bet you that they all read The Guardian. I'm not, I'm not...
Looking up for the minorities.
Yeah.
Last thing, the newsreels these days are so depressing. 5 minutes of doom and gloom,
and then the weather.
And then you get a silly little story at the end. On a lighter note.
Yeah, on a lighter note.
A fisherman got stuck in his net for 2 hours yesterday in Plymouth.
Really?
After they've been talking about...
Is he all right?
Dying in Iraq and...
Oh yeah, well never mind about that. That's far, far away, and it could be another planet.
I think they should do...
And people are dying there that we don't personally know, so we'll just forget about that. We'll just, concentrate on the politicians who are telling us that everything's coming up roses.
Yeah. Well, that's about it, really.
All right. Thanks a lot, Tam.
Great show, Nick. Bye.
Cheers, mate. And finally, a cat given away by a family tracked them down to their new home 500 miles away. 3-year-old Mimine averaged just over a mile a day, taking 13 months to complete the journey from Toulouse in the south of France to Trevoray in the north. Vet Marie-Pierre François said, "Cats have an extraordinary sixth sense, and in this case, that's what she used." Have you ever heard such a load of old rubbish in all your life?
I'd love to do it.
Kitty cats, we eat kitty cats, we eat kitty cats, they're really great to chew. We eat kitty cats, we eat kitty cats, we eat kitty cats, won't you have one too?
Hello, Petula.
Hello, Nick. There is an Irish sports bloke. His name is Stephen Nolan.
Right, I've not heard of him.
Yeah, he comes on 5 Live.
Oh, well, I don't...
Saturday and Sunday.
I don't listen to that. I'm too busy listening to LBC.
Yeah, I know. Well, I listen to LBC and I also listen to him as well.
I doubt it. You probably listen to Heart.
So I'm just phoning to say there is, because I listen to him many times commentating on the football.
When Hart or LBC is mysteriously unavailable on your set. Yeah, I can understand. I feel your pain, Petula. Thanks a lot, dear. Ta-ta.
Okay, Nick, bye.
How many more stations do we want to mention on this one? Here's Docklands. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick. Right, that's
yes, thanks.
Stephen Geezer. You won't hear him because he's on the same time as you and he's useless.
Right.
Right, but the Ulsterman that the other fella was talking about is Alan Green. Right? But I didn't phone up for that. It was about Jackie Oakley.
Yeah.
I heard you digging her out last week. Now, I love you, Nick, but I think you've been a bit strong on her because she's done her apprenticeship. Like today, she was doing the Bristol City game today for 5 Dead. And prior to that, she's done all the dodgy, like, the right league games. I think last week was probably the first big game she did. And she's pretty good.
Well, I'm going to have to stop you there, because I did not criticise her last week in any way, shape or form. In fact, I was sticking up for women like mad last week. And I haven't really criticised her today. I just mentioned the difference in...
Her, but you're going on about... but then that is TV anyway, about... I bet she's good looking.
Well,
at one stage, you said
we don't even see her.
No, but you said at one stage about her last week as well. All she's got to do is lift her top up. It should get on page 3.
I didn't say that. This has dogged me my entire career. People sort of half hear what I say, turn it around and say, you just said all black people are criminals. Whereas, in fact, I just mentioned what time it was.
No, you were saying about the pretty girl was doing it, and I suppose if she lifts her top up, she could get on page 3.
I didn't say that. I might have said something along the lines of... Well, I can't even think of what I might have said now, but I certainly didn't say that. Why would I say that?
Because I know she is a pretty... I mean, I didn't realise she was that attractive. I think it was in one of the news... Was it in one of the papers? Was it in the Mail or the Express?
Independent.
And I did a big thing about her.
Yeah.
But... when she first started at the BBC, I think she had a bit of an habit of eating pork pies. She weren't exactly the trim-looking bird what she is today.
Right.
So, but she's very good.
Oh, so what? So well done to her then. Is that what you're saying?
But I mean, giving her that, she knows her stuff. She does know her stuff. And
she should just lay off the pies. All right. Well, thanks for sticking up for womankind, Dave. Cheers, mate. No. You're a breath of fresh air. I can barely see you two in there. You both look like, I've had the longest argument about this last time I mentioned it on the air. That, Kilroy. You look like that Kilroy character. I can barely see your nose and your eyes. You're slumped down in your chair. I can't see your little shining faces.
How about that?
Sit up. That's right. And you.
The trouble is...
Alex?
So relaxed.
On this side of the desk, I've got a little bar sort of underneath the desk. So if I go up too
Really?
high...
That's interesting. Please, tell me more.
No, I won't.
Hey, what about this weather then, eh? I mean, where are we now?
Lovely, isn't
it's
it?
April, isn't it? And could it be more fantastic? Well, yes, it could, actually. It could be at least 10 degrees warmer, because there is...
We did have a couple of tough days, didn't we?
Yes, it actually rained a little while ago. I don't mind the rain, because I didn't like it last year when everything got bran. I don't like bran. I say that a lot. Does anybody remember what that actually comes from?
Was it a comedy sketch?
It's Harry Enfield, doing the Wayne and Waynetta slag.
Does she want a brown baby?
No, he gets a car and it's a cool teen. He said, "What do you want to get that for?" She says, "Well, I like it." He said, "But it's bran. I don't like bran." and every time I say it, people laugh. But I don't. But I always wondered if people are laughing out of recognition. And I thought, that's not really a very famous sketch. So you're just laughing at me. Laughing at me.
I think it just sounds funny in the
I do remember
voice,
it from it.
Yeah, it's so if it rains a lot at night when we're asleep, that would be great.
Yeah,
because when
good.
everything's lush and green and healthy and bursting with vitality and whatever else is in there. It's in there and it's got to come out. all over my car.
Oh, yeah.
Sticky.
Mine's really yucky.
Sticky, yeah. Anyway, England is set for its warmest April since records began nearly 350 years ago. Can you believe that people started making records of the weather 350 years ago? You'd think they'd be busy toiling, making fires in their caves. Whatever the hell it is they're used to living. You know, hunting down oxen and, you know, fighting off mountain lions.
Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think they'd have the time. Or indeed the ways of measuring it.
No, that's true.
It's the high, and in fact, we're only measuring it on. We're comparing it to their measurements 350 years ago, and saying, "Oh, well, it's hotter now." But what instruments were they using 350 years ago? How accurate were they?
We'll never know.
I mean, to tell the time, you'd have to walk around with a grandfather clock on your wrist, wouldn't you? I mean, it wasn't radar controlled. It wasn't, you know, accurate to the second, and neither were their temperature gauges. I warrant.
I don't think it is now, though. Don't you think? When we hear what temperature it is, and then if you look in your car or you're out and about, and your temperature says something completely different.
Yeah.
So where do we gauge it from?
It's the highest figure for central England since records began in 1659, said the Met Office. This figure is 51.9 degrees. That's not very much, is it?
No.
I'm still freezing cold at 50 anything.
It's cold at night.
If it's not 70 degrees, then the tips of my fingers are freezing cold. Yeah, they're literally blue. Yeah, I've got some sort of disease. It's just one of my many medical ailments. I'll list them for you, shall I? It's amazing that I've actually made it in at all.
But have you not been well this week?
When am I ever well?
Well, you do suffer every now and again.
Always, continuously. And it's very irritating because I do everything right. I'm a walking manual on how to live your life.
But do you think yourself well?
Yeah, I'm almost always on the verge of a near-death experience.
Do you evaluate how you feel every morning? How do I feel today?
Actually, there's the most fantastic thing. I mention this every now and again, but maybe it's a little early to be going that way.
Oh.
But there's a toilet that I experienced in Amsterdam, which is the perfect way to see how you are every day. Because maybe we shouldn't. I've only ever seen it once, but when I saw it, I thought, wow, this is a toilet design from a genius. Because all of the things that are wrong with the toilet.
What's wrong with the toilet?
Well, splashback.
Oh, no! I can't believe you just said that.
Well, it's true. That's one of them. It's a big worry every day, isn't it? Because it's just a horrible start to the day. It's true. Well, this was eliminated by the fact that instead of like a well,
yeah,
it was basically a tray.
Right.
Very close to you know
your area.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you were presented almost as though a butler had walked in with a tray. It shows you how you are that day.
What, you pick it up and have a look at it?
No, of course not! Oh, God!
Well, I didn't know whether the idea was you're supposed to then sort of check it out.
No, but as opposed to it just disappearing if you've got no idea, it says, oh, I see, maybe I should up my roughage.
Is there a loo underneath the tray?
Well, you flush it and then it just goes over the lip of the tray and then disappears out of sight.
I see, okay.
Brilliant. I've only ever seen one once. Which solves two things. First of all, it tells you how you are, and second, no danger of any splashback at all. How come I've only ever seen that once? You'd think that the whole world would be clamouring for something like that. I know I am.
I can't believe we're discussing this.
Anyway, how do we get from the weather to that?
I don't
Lucy,
know.
you are dragging this show down. I can't believe it.
I said what a lovely day it is, and then you talked about toilets.
Anyway.
Oh, it was the rain, wasn't it? The rain at night? And your blue fingers?
Yeah. Don't try and work back. You need to leave a string behind you on conversations we have on this programme. We'll never find our way back. Anyway, the Met Office said that there was a 1 in 6 chance of Britain having a repeat of the 2003 heat wave. Took forever to find that button. From flowering hawthorn to half-naked holidaymakers, there were plenty of signs that summer has arrived a month early this year. But yesterday, science confirmed that what sunbathers already knew. This April has been hot. In fact, it's been the warmest since records began. A Met Office spokesman said these figures are consistent with what our experts have been saying, that Britain's weather is growing warmer due to human action. Well done, everybody! Kate of the Woodland Trust said this year's spring began in December. You know, she's right, because trees had blossom on around our way in December. Those crazy trees. And the summer had begun already, right now. Summer has already begun. She's not putting it very well, but I think that's what she means. Hawthorn has been a symbol of May since ancient times, but this year it was flowering in early April. I wouldn't know if I'd tripped over it. Swifts have arrived here early from Africa. Well, how did they know to come early?
I don't know.
What, do they read it on the net? Summer's come early, better get over there quick. How would they know to come early?
Very clever.
Not really. They eat insects for a living. And tweet all night. Hey, they found out why birds tweet all night.
Oh, why?
Tweety birds, because they thought they were just crazy. They're just, you know, they've gone loopy.
Yeah.
Because they've gone cuckoo. Because of the street lights, so they can't tell what's night and day. Apparently it's not that at all. I'll get to that in a minute. I do intend to finish at least one thought before the end of the programme. Where are we? Swifts have arrived here early from Africa. Everywhere you go, you see signs that nature is confused about the season and is trying to cope. Oh, I'm sure it'll get through. Forecasters predict another exodus to the coast this weekend, with temperatures reaching 82 degrees Fahrenheit. They're lying about that. See, this is why I don't believe a single word that meteorological forecasters say about what it's going to be like if we continue our wicked ways in 25, 50 years' time. They can't tell what it's going to be like tomorrow. Who are they kidding? They've been saying it's 82 degrees this weekend for about a week now. Right up until today. They're still saying it about tomorrow. I bet you £10 million.
That's a big wager.
I'll bet you, I'll bet you the shoes that I'm wearing right now, it won't be anything near 82 degrees tomorrow. I double dare you to take that bet. I'll eat my feet if it's 82 degrees tomorrow.
Okay, it's worth a bet.
All right. LBC. Aid.
Hello, Nick. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate.
Yeah, you were talking about Harry Enfield earlier. That's actually what I was going to talk about. I mean, it used to be, correct if I'm wrong, it used to be like quite funny, like
very,
like 15 years ago, or what it was, you know, Smashing Nights, Wayne and Wayne and all that lot.
Yep.
And have you seen it recently?
I saw the first one, and I didn't find a smile in it.
I've seen it yesterday, and you know, I've been to work. I was that tired. I couldn't see him. The reason I watched it, I think, is I couldn't bother to switch the TV over. But it was awful. What's he trying to do to his career?
Well, that's a problem because he didn't have one. He didn't have one, so he came back to do you know what he does best. And I thought, right, I didn't find it funny, but maybe I'll continue. I'll keep taping it. Because it's one of those catchphrase things, isn't it? The more you see it, the more you like it. So I thought, well, all right, I'll give it another go. I haven't seen this week's yet. I'm hoping for the best.
Well, you know, spare yourself half an hour, you know.
All right.
There's other things to do.
Like watching Third Rock from the Sun again. Always makes me laugh. Every time. I can see those episodes 10 times in a row, and they still make me laugh.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think I'm the only one. Nobody else I ever talked to watches Third Rock from the Sun. I think it's one of the greatest sitcoms in hihistory.
No, I've never really seen it. I know what it is, but I've...
Well, all of you people, you have the advantage of seeing it all for the very first time. They're showing it again on ITV4, I think, about once or twice a week. They do a double header. It's, I think it's just hilarious, just for the performances alone. But, I mean, it's a great script, but it's got John Lithgow. I think that's how you pronounce it. John Lithgow. Great comic actor. I think it's up there with Bilko as the greatest comic performance in a sitcom of all time.
You're not completely on spot. I was going to mention. I mean, like films as well. Like the Kevin and Perry thing. Did you see that?
No.
That was awful.
All films made from British television programmes are by definition, rubbish. Name me one that isn't. Dad's Army. That wasn't. That was good. Name me another.
Film with Dad's Army?
Huh?
A film with Dad's Army?
A film with Dad's Army, yeah.
What, cinema film?
Yeah.
How long ago are we talking about?
Well, Dad's Army, you know, whenever that was. 70s, I suppose.
That's a fresh one on me. I'll look that one up.
Well, catch up, Ade. You want to, you know, step into the... you're 30 years out of date.
But, yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, especially... I made a mistake a few years ago of seeing the Bean film. And that couldn't stretch for 2 hours, whatever it was. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but, like, the series was okay.
No, I thought he seemed demented to me, and I just like it seemed like he had some sort of mental problem, like more or less the same reason that I can't watch Some Mothers Do Have 'Em. He had a mental problem as well.
Yeah.
He was also married to a woman. No one can believe that. Seriously, what was going on there?
I think he had mentioned who was the bloke that played Frank Spencer again.
Michael Crawford.
He was mentioned it on his show yesterday. He was on Noel's house party about 10 years ago, and he couldn't do him anymore.
He couldn't do...
He couldn't do Frank Spencer.
He could do him all right, but he just didn't want to. He didn't want to have that dragging around after him, because he's an accomplished theatre performer, and doing that mincing mental patient, he just didn't want to have to do that anymore. Yeah, it's not that he couldn't, he didn't want to.
Yeah, 'cause it's like ditto with the 40 Towers. I mean, that is a good programme, but I mean, 12 episodes or something are made of that, Mothers Do Have 'Em, and people... It's still following him around. Well,
it's because it didn't become unfunny by repetition. They didn't. It's like James Dean and Marilyn Monroe. They'll always be beautiful because they're dead now. Same with 40 Towers. It'll always be beautiful because there were only 12 of them. They didn't string it out. Listen, Ade, I've got to go. I'm past a break. All right.
I'll save some thoughts for next week.
Oh, I literally can't wait. Do you see me quiver with anticipation?
A Chanel dress, Malone Blahnik shoes.
Oh, I played it, but I forgot to fade it up. Oh, no. Hey, Lorraine.
Hello there.
Lorraine.
Yeah, just phone up regarding the lady commentator from the football last week.
Oh, yeah. Was she on tonight?
I don't know. She was on there last night. I haven't watched it tonight, but last week it sounded as if she should be commentating for show jumping.
For show jumping?
Yeah.
Oh, Lorraine. That's an awful thing to say.
I shouldn't be so biased, but you know when you've got Jonathan Pierce and you can hear his expression, he's got tones high and low, it was just such a flat pitch.
Well, it's the best thing to play football on, I suppose.
No, yeah, but you know, her tone in her voice, it was... her expressions was, and it was such an exquisite goal. This is like someone preparing to take a jump or something.
Right. Well, she was probably suffering from buttock clenching fear, Lorraine.
Well,
she'll, you know, over time she'll let herself go and learn to shout with the rest of them.
Yeah,
anyway, Lorraine, I've got the news coming up, so I've got to go. But thanks a lot. All right. Thanks for sticking up for womankind. It's just me, isn't it?
Nick Abbott.
And remember, darling, I don't work before 10 in the morning and never after 4:30 in the afternoon.
That's actually what it says on my contract. I shouldn't even be here. And those words as well. Point 17 is, and remember, darling. GMTV host... I should have asked the question first. They just did a survey of who'd you really, really fancy. And they got a top 10 list of men and women, and the question was, dream lover, right. Who's your dream lover? Who'd you really fancy? Like that. Here comes the tea. Hallelujah. So, who do you think, Luce, came number one in a list of male dream lovers? David Beckham. Good guess. Wrong. You want to hazard a guess there, Alex?
Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams. Not even in the list.
Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt does not appear.
Oh. Oh, is there a reason? Are they slightly strange, the men who've been chosen? Or not the norm?
Well...
Peter Kay?
Peter Kay?
I don't know.
Why did you say Peter Kay?
I just thought I'd suddenly try and think of someone random that wouldn't be a normal guess.
Okay, from 10 down to 1. I need the... we don't have Alan Freeman's sound of the swinging cymbals, whatever that was called, do we?
No, we looked for that once before.
No radio station should be without it.
You could have the da-da-da-da.
I miss Alan Freeman. Don't you? I'd like to get a lot of tapes of him doing his thing. He was perhaps the greatest stylist. You know, in the sea of bland that is British radio, he was one of the greatest stylists that has ever existed, and we had him in this country. I mean, if you made an all-time world top 10 of radio presenters, I'd say that he'd probably be in it. There aren't many DJs who'd be in it. Kenny Everett, he'd be in it, and then you start to run out.
Terry.
So, oh, come off it. Reading other people's emails, who's got 50 assistants fanning him, and he struggles through a 2-hour show every day. Oh, well done, mate. Terry. Right, from the 10 to 1. Tony Blair was the 10th most fancy bloke.
What?
A dream lover. This is the, that was the question. Who's your dream lover? Tony Blair was number 10.
I can't believe that.
Number 9, Simon Cowell.
Who was asked to
Women.
Yeah, but I've never heard one other woman I know say that she fancies Tony Blair.
No, but men with power, get all the, like that, white van man sounding person we had on before the news, get all the birds.
Yeah, but...
He was attacking me for...
But a good lover. I mean, Tony Blair, he'd be too tired anyway, wouldn't he?
Not shortly. He's going to have loads of time on his hands.
Sure, he can't wait.
Count his money. Simon Cowell, I sort of get that, because women go for the bad types, don't they, who show up to their
I get
parents
that a bit.
on motorbike.
Yeah.
They don't go for, you know, the nice young man who works at the bank and parts his hair nicely. They go for the greasy rocker, like Pete Doherty, like Kate Moss.
Yeah, but
What is her taste in men? Seriously, I mean, she's supposed to... I know that in real life she's got a face like a pizza and eyes that look in 2 different directions. And no boobs. But she's made up to look fantastically gorgeous, right? I mean, she's known for being great looking. And she goes out with the biggest, you know, not to be offensive about it, but dogs you've ever seen. Pete Doherty, that's the best she could do. She must like him for his...
unique look.
Yeah, for his mind, yeah.
That down-to-earth look.
Yeah. Number 7, Ant McPartlin.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know which one that is.
Yeah, it's the one with the bigger forehead.
The dark-haired one. Is he called Ant?
Well, they've both got dark hair.
Have they?
Yeah.
I thought one was blonde and one was dark, like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Don't all male double acts have to be blonde and dark?
Okay, how
like,
can we... yeah, I think the slightly darker one's probably Deck.
Starsky and Hutch.
Deck looks a little bit smaller.
Oh, please, they're both the size of a garden gnome.
Yeah, one of them's got a littler face. Deck's got a littler face.
No measuring instrument has been devised that can measure anything that small.
Ah, they're sweet.
There's an electron microscope at Oxford University that could probably might be able to tell the difference. Sweet, yes, but not dream lover.
No, but you see, Ant's probably more desirable to women now he's married.
Apparently not. Because at number 6 is Hugh Grant.
Oh, really?
Who seems to be just like a default to women. Oh, yeah, I fancy
the
Hugh
bean
Grant.
thrower. Oh, dear.
Number 5, Colin Firth.
Yes, I get that.
But why Colin Firth and not Brad Pitt, which is also a default response from women asked this question, who's your dream lover?
Well, they're all British so far,
Colin
aren't they?
Firth. Yes. Number 4, Ant McPartlin is going to be very upset about this. Ant McPartlin was number 7. And number 4, Declan Donnelly. So which one is he?
Declan's available still. He's the one with a slightly smaller face. Probably. He's probably slightly better looking than Ant.
But I still don't know which one you mean. They both look like they've got a face the size of the moon, to me.
I'm going to have to show you.
You're going to Google them.
Yeah.
Or we can't actually say that
They
anymore.
normally...
Google is the biggest brand on the planet now. They're not just a couple of hippies who drink Diet Coke all day and wander around on their skateboard in their office. They're the biggest company in the world. They're the people that are taking all of advertising from ordinary media companies.
They always stand as Ant and Dec when you see them.
Okay,
right,
so the best looking one, according to women, is Dec, and he's on the...
He's on the right.
Oh, you've got to be kidding. Well, he looks like,
I'm trying to...
Yeah, I get it.
There we go.
Every time you're clicking, it makes it worse.
Right.
Look.
His forehead is the same height as the rest of his face.
It's absolutely massive.
See, Dec's a little bit smaller.
Ant. You'd think that the one called Ant would be the smaller one. Mind you, to normal people, they all look like ants to us, don't they? It's like you're standing on top of the Empire State Building to us. They just look microscopic.
Oh, I think they're great.
Do you?
I do.
They're great.
I think they're really entertaining.
They're just reading off a screen.
No, but I like it because they genuinely are best friends, and I think it works as a really natural chemistry. I do.
Right.
Anyway, who's in at number 3?
They're genuinely best friends. What difference does that make? Morecambe and Wise.
It makes them funnier together, I think.
Nonsense.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem scripted. It seems very natural that you believe that they're genuinely having a good time and laughing with one another. And it's not fake at all.
I'm completely wasting my time here, aren't I? Actually, where all the money is to be able to read off a screen while making it seem like you're making it up. That's worth 18 million quid.
Yeah, but they've
If you
probably
can just
written
make
that
up
first.
stuff off the top of your head, there's no market for that. No one's remotely interested. Only if you can read what somebody else has written with a smile on your face. That's where all the money is. Can anybody explain that to me?
Don't you think they write it?
Of course they don't write it.
Oh, I think they do.
Oh, get out.
Do you think they even practice the jokes?
Well, everything's rehearsed on television.
Well, even the
Yes.
gags that seem very natural?
Everything.
I can't
There's nothing
believe
made
that.
up in television land.
Not when they're ribbing one another.
Particularly on Saturday night. I mean, in the middle of the night on a cable channel, then yes, the host might well be coming up with it off the top of their head. But on Saturday night, as slick as whatever shows they're in, it's all nailed down to the last breath.
What about I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here? Is that scripted?
I've never seen it.
Well, that's what they do too, and they're walking over the bridge and everything.
Yeah.
And
If they're looking into the camera and saying words, they're reading it off the front lens of the camera.
even in the jungle.
Yes. Even in the jungle, where they get electricity. Yes. If they've got a camera there, they can get an auto cue.
Well, they read very well.
Right, well, that's obviously where all the cash is.
Yeah. Oh. Who was number 3?
Number 3 is, Orlando Bloom.
No, I really don't get that.
Daniel Craig, Mr. James Bond himself, is number 2. And guess who number 1 is?
John Prescott.
Well, now you're just being silly. There is actually...
Well, Tony Blair was on the list.
Well, there is a list of top 10 worst men.
Oh, good. Oh, we can play that then next. I don't know who would be number 1.
You're thinking...
Not
Huh?
Gordon Brown.
Gordon Brown? No! You just wanted me to play that.
Pete Doherty, was it?
Well, I'm like a puppet. You're pulling my strings.
Rolf Harris.
Women said that their top dream lover and a man who got a quarter of the votes was GMTV host Ben Shepherd.
What?
Who?
Ben Shepherd.
He's quite attractive.
Yeah, but a quarter of the votes of all the people in all the world. That... I mean, was this survey done by GMTV? I don't understand that at all. I mean, he's not even really famous. I mean, Alex said who?
I bet he does know who he is, really.
No, I honestly have no clue.
Well, he does a bit of the kind of show-busy stuff, and... Yeah.
Seriously, Alex, you don't like football, you don't like GMTV. Those are the two extremes. Is there anything in the middle?
He's got a new car.
Have you? A new car?
Well, not yet, I haven't.
You're about to have a new car, though.
Yeah.
That big one's going.
Is it? I
It's
like
gone.
that big one. Oh.
It's gone. There's another big one coming. You'll like it even more. You'll get loads of material out of it.
Is it a classic?
It is. It's even older than the other old pile.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it the same brand?
Yes.
Oh, right, of course. A top people's car. I'm ashamed.
Car for the people.
I'm ashamed to park my bucket of rust next to it. What should we do now? Should we go for a break or, yeah?
Yeah.
Everything is going extremely well.
I'll say. Jessica.
Hello, Nick.
Jessica.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm alright, thank you.
Who is your dream lover?
I was just enjoying that list of yours there. Well, certainly not Ben Shepherd.
Well, that's an awful thing, just the way you said it.
Well, I'm not being rude, but...
25% of women surveyed.
Yeah, where's these women come from? What's this survey based on?
Oh, I've just found out who did it. Anne Summers.
Anne Summers.
Yeah.
Ben Shepherd, well, yeah, actually...
People are no, that doesn't make any sense at all.
yeah,
People
no,
are
it
shopping
does
Anne
actually.
Summers. You'd think they'd be into, I don't know, somebody with a bit more about them.
Well, actually, it's probably marketed by Anne Summers to make it seem like your regular housewife that sits at home and watches GMTV is the kind of person that would go to Anne Summers.
Hey, Jessica, I think you've got something there. Because if they came up with,
Brad Pitt, unattainable.
yeah,
Ben Shepherd, they can relate to that because he's, you know...
they could pick him up and put in their pockets.
Yeah.
Well, he's married with children.
Who is?
Ben Shepherd.
Of course he is, and I'm not saying that
How
that
do you
would
know?
change in any way because of these people, but... But it's a thought, isn't it? They're just trying to pick someone that would suit them rather than...
Well, you're not suggesting that a high-quality survey like this would have been rigged in any way, are you?
No, I'm not suggesting that.
Of course.
But I'm very kind of... Don't get me started on the surveys because I do find them quite annoying.
Hey, Jessica, who do you think was the... who do you think was the 10... the...
Oh, my God.
Woo! Oh,
Bless
that
you.
was, oh...
That's a big one.
Fabulous.
Oh, all those germs you've just spread everywhere.
I know.
That's horrible.
Whoever's in this studio next is going to get the lurgies.
Let me think. What about Hugh Grant?
Hugh Grant was in the list, yes, number 6.
Chris Tarrant?
Chris Tarrant, not in the list. No.
Chris Evans?
Not in the list.
Tony Blair, because they always have a
Tony
double
Blair
up.
was number 10. The
Yeah,
10th...
they always have a double up. Pete Doherty, or whatever he's called.
Well, he came in the top 10 worst men who
Yeah.
women didn't want to dream
this is
date
what
with.
I'm talking about, the worst ones.
Oh, I see.
Well, I won't be putting... Well...
Number 10, Jonathan Ross.
Jonathan Ross, that's a bit harsh, but I can understand it, yeah.
Number 9, David Beckham.
Yeah.
That's a bit odd. Maybe it's just gone too far with the tattoos. He just it looks,
No, he's gone too far with the hair. Did you see the pictures of David Beckham's hair today?
Well, he'll change it tomorrow.
Well, it's an awful coloured blonde, unless the paper...
It does look like he did it
up.
himself, yeah.
It's like those old women with nicotine, stained hair, and he's a multi-millionaire.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it did look like he did it at home with
It looks almost white,
Maybe
I thought.
Victoria did it for him.
Number 8. This list doesn't make any sense at all. Prince Harry. Like women wouldn't be throwing themselves at him every time he leaves the house.
Yeah.
You didn't mix the lists up, did you?
I don't think so, no. Wayne Rooney is number 7. Oh, poor Drain. At least he's got colon to keep him company. Clive Owen is number 6. He was going to be Mr. Bond, wasn't he? Clive Owen. Clive Owen?
Yeah.
He's one of those kind of guys that's almost too good looking for his own good. It's just a bit too much.
Little Pippi Schofield is at number 5. Oh.
Aww.
Robbie Williams at number 4, another tattoo junkie. I'm not saying he's a junkie, I'm saying he's addicted to tattoos. He's
Yeah.
a tattoo junkie.
Yeah.
Pete Doherty, an actual tattoo junkie, is at number 2, although I don't know if he's got any tattoos.
Yeah, I don't know if he has, actually.
Number 3 is Peter Crouch.
Aww. I would have thought women would like him, though, in a way, because he's sort of sweet and gangly, isn't he?
Yeah, but eventually you're going to have to take his ginormous clothes off. And
Imagine hanging
you
him up.
imagine?
Oh.
It'd be like having a hot, passionate lust with a box of pipe cleaners. And number 1, the top 10 worst men to be their dream lover. Oh, don't even know if I should say it.
Why?
Well, it's poor Chris Moyles. Not so poor, of course.
No.
But it's him anyway. But these lists are only because you know, he's only in there because he's famous. It's not they actually hate any of those people. It's just that it's top of the head, isn't it? Same as these your favourite music track of all time at the end of the year. Radio stations always do that. And number 1 will be something that just came out because it's the only thing that people can remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jessica, what did you call up about?
I was just, well, it's when you were having, you know, your kind of sports special Saturday, and you were talking about soccer and football and stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to take advantage of it and just moan a little bit about the snooker.
Moan about it?
Yeah, have you been watching any of the snooker?
No.
Are you not interested in snooker?
Well, the thing about snooker is, it's like, I should actually watch more of it so I could calm down more. It's like meditation.
Well, what, you mean it's boring?
No, it's actually quite, it can be quite gripping.
Oh.
But in a very, very laid-back way. If they put Brian Eno music behind it, it would be like some sort of a hippie meditation video, because it's green and very, very slow.
Yowza.
Well, okay, I'm not so much having a go at the snooker then. I'm having a go at the people that go and watch the snooker.
Right.
I mean, I live in Sheffield, so they've been there all week, and they're there all next week. And it's at the Crucible Theatre, which is in the middle of Sheffield city centre. And there's grown men, like groupies outside the stage door, waiting for an autograph from one of these snooker players, and I just don't get it.
Well, the whole concept of autographs is a bit weird, but it's almost like you've got a part of someone.
But it's so anarchy for something like
well, that's men, though, isn't
snooker.
it? I mean, we are collectors. We like to collect lists, we like to order things in alphabetical order, or by genre, or whatever it is that we do. And, we're nerdy like that. That's just blokes. And in that manner, we invent things. So be thankful, and shut up about it.
I'll stop moaning then, but it does seem very, very odd behaviour to me.
Yes, it is. You're quite right.
Like teenage girls.
Yeah. Quite, well, if they weren't doing that, they'd be collecting bus numbers.
Yeah, they probably would.
Which is as bad as collecting train numbers, but even less glamorous. Bus numbers.
Well,
who on earth came up with that?
Well,
Let's stand on a roundabout with my little flask all day.
It's to pass the time, isn't it? Which I guess you can use snooker to do, just sit and pass the time with it, but it's...
do any of these people actually still go out there and do that anymore, or has the internet removed the desire to go out and waste your time in that way? Many more exciting ways to waste your time indoors, and you need never actually meet anybody. Doesn't that sound great? Oh, she's gone.
Well,
Jessica.
No, I haven't gone. No, sorry, I haven't gone.
Oh, you're just thinking about it.
No, I'm not saying that, you know, I mean, you make it... I'm not saying that all snooker fans are boring and lonely people.
Yeah, but they are.
But they are. That's the way they come across. And obviously, I mean, I'm happy to share my city with them. I mean, it's quite a big city, but there's not room for everybody.
All right. Is it just that you're upset that you live in Sheffield?
No, I love living in Sheffield.
Well, that explains it.
But I'm just upset that we're associated with the snooker because it makes us look drab and boring. It's not good for the sort of Sheffield.
I like to watch it on television every now and again because it can be very absorbing but very calming at the same time. In the way that football isn't. Football's not calming. Partly because of the noise of it. There's no end to that animalistic roar, which you don't get with the snooker. It's just it slows you down. It's in fact bears must actually watch snooker in order to hibernate. I'm sure that's what they do.
Well, I'd say that I'm going to watch it, but I won't.
Well, enjoy it or don't, with my compliments. All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Jessica. She could probably watch it with binoculars out of her window. Ealing, Mohammed.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I thought you forgot about me.
No, you're right there.
Excellent. How are you tonight?
I'm super, thanks for asking.
Excellent. Good to hear it, because I've had the roughest weekend ever.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to moan, but it's a funny situation. People will laugh. because I was an absolute muppet this morning. I've had a very rough week, a lot of work, courses, exams, all the rest of it, and I planned a weekend away to Slovenia, which is not a very common destination, but I've got friends there, and I thought it was going to be a fantastic weekend away in the Eastern European capital, all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wake up this morning, very early to go on the airport on time, very organized, and I did not find my passport.
And you need one because Slovenia is almost like another country, isn't it?
Well, apparently you need one to leave the UK anyway.
Right.
So that was it. That was the start.
You don't need one to come in, but you need one to get out.
No, I phoned and they said either way. You need a passport whenever you leave.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. So what did you do, Mohammed? Can't wait to find out.
Went back to bed.
You went back to bed.
What else would you do? I phoned my friend.
Oh, I think you need to get another phone, mate. But best of luck calling us next time. Try a landline, perhaps. Modern communications.
Listen carefully. Nick Abbott.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Hi, Philip. How are you?
Good evening, Nick.
How you going?
I had a shock this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my clock radio came on at about 6:35 this morning. And do you know the first voice I heard? You.
Me?
Yes. Followed by me.
Explain.
It was Cream.
Cream?
You know, the LBC Cream show.
Oh, yeah. I'm not on that, am I?
You're on it. They repeat it tomorrow night.
I'm among the best of LBC?
Yes.
Good God, we are in trouble.
Yeah, they're repeating it tomorrow night as well at about 8:30.
Huh.
So, if you want to hear yourself. Yes, I thought...
I can hear me any time I like,
I mean, dear me, I thought I'd overslept. And it was 10 o'clock tonight.
You crazy mixed-up kid.
I was, wasn't I? And then I bought the paper and was very sad.
Which one?
Daily Mirror. Bobby Pickett's died.
Bobby Wicket Pickett?
Yeah, and the Monster Mash Man.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I bought that, and it was because it was banned, by the BBC.
Why?
I don't know. I used to go to see a radio show, and when it was number
in the
one
Paris
at the top of the
studios,
American charts...
There's just... you haven't... can you hear me?
Hello, Nick, sorry.
In the Paris studios?
Yes.
We've had this conversation. Go on.
Yes. And the producer of the show was a guy called Derek Chinnery.
Yep.
And I said to him, he said, I said, you're going to play Monster Mash?
And he said, security?
Yes. Yes. Yes, he said, I'm not playing that. He said, and it subsequently got on their restricted list.
Why?
I honestly don't know. I mean, it's a great record.
Well, I think that's stretching it a bit.
I mean, the zombies were dancing.
There was nothing wrong with it, though. I mean, it was a monster mash.
It was a monster mash.
I used to hear that on the radio all the time, and when that was out, the only radio that existed was wonderful Radio 1.
Well, it actually came out in 1962, Nick.
Oh, well, I must have heard it second time
You heard
around.
it said it reached the British charts in 1973.
Yeah, that's about right, yeah.
Yeah, it said...
Oh, what a year, eh? 1973. It would have been Slade and Sweet and Mud and...
Bobby Pickett.
Yeah, Gary Glitter. All of that, and My Cuckoo. So,
good,
Alvin
yes.
Stardust.
Oh, yeah. It said that Bob Dylan was a big fan of Monster Mash.
I very much doubt that.
Well, it says here, it said he played it on his satellite radio show last October.
Did he?
And he says, our next artist is considered a one-hit wonder, but his one hit comes back year after year.
Huh.
Halloween.
Maybe he was, right.
Yeah, so, also I heard that the satellite in America is going to be consolidated. The two companies that are getting together.
Sirius and XM.
Yeah.
Well, I heard that that's what the plan was. If you don't know what satellite radio is, basically the idea in America is that there are such wide open spaces in America that it's quite difficult to cover the country in radio signals. It'd be just too expensive. And so if you drive out of any city, and any major city in America will have 100 radio stations, unlike the 6 that we've got here, And suddenly, a couple of miles out of a city, you'll be bereft. There'll be some guy talking about Jesus.
Yeah,
and someone playing country music, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so people who drive a lot in America, they wanted radio to follow them, and so they thought, well, we'll do it from space. We'll satellite radio to your car, and that's why these things were born. And people eventually started listening to streaming music on the internet and thought, that's what I want. I want music without DJs and adverts and jingles and news and weather and particularly DJs. And so they just streamed hundreds of channels of music, and people pay money for this on a monthly subscription. And there's two competing, and the cost of putting them together is absolutely gigantic.
Yes, it was. It's interesting because I had a leaflet when I was coming through America last year. I picked up a leaflet.
I can't pause for breath with you, can I? I just paused for breath for a second. I was going to go to the second part of my explanation, but you just with you, Philip. No, that's all right. You carry on. But with you can't pause for breath because you'll jump straight in there. You are a professional in that respect. You don't allow any dead air.
Oh, I do. Well,
like that. So you can't edit closer than that, Philip.
All right, I'll let you carry on. But you know.
I'm done now.
I just wanted to say that I picked up a leaflet in the airport in Cleveland, and they had a copy of all the stations that you could get on the satellite radio.
Yeah, hundreds of them.
Oh, it was literally. You're dead right. It was incredible.
And all of the DJs that have been fired off terrestrial radio just couldn't stand it anymore because because the rules and regulations got tightened up over there. Still a lot looser than it is here, right enough, but they got they can't do any. I think it's actually illegal for them to do noises.
Yeah.
Over there. Can't do that.
Oh, wow.
But they've all gone to satellite, like people like Howard Stern, and I think Phil Hendry is going to satellite. If you've never heard Phil Hendry,
no, I haven't,
he would be in the all-time world top 10. You must absolutely Google him and download everything you can. That man is a genius. He's got the most unique radio act I have ever heard.
What records does he play? What style of music does he play?
Well, you see, there's where you're going wrong, Philip.
Anything. He plays anything.
He's a talk show host. All the talent in America are talk show hosts.
Oh, I mean, I know Rush.
That's where the money is in America, with people who can actually talk. In this country, it's completely the other way around. People who hide behind 6 records in a row and then say what the station is, that's worth £1 million a year.
Wow. I mean, I just heard the problems that Mr. Don Imus. Have you ever seen him?
Yes, I've seen and heard Don Imus, who recently got fired from his £10 million a year job.
Yeah. His hat, he sits there, he looks like a sad horse with a hat on.
Yeah, but he's on a radio, so who cares?
Well, no, he's on TV. He does it on TV, didn't he? He did it on, was it MSNBC, I believe?
Right, but it's only a television recording of a radio show.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yes. But as I say, I just, he got away with it. Do you remember last week, Nick, we were talking
Got away with what? Looking like a horse? That's an awful thing for you to say.
I mean, he looks a bit like that cartoon one, Mr. Quick Draw McGraw.
Right, we've lost me there.
Oh, anyway, do you remember last week we were talking about these freebies?
No.
Free records. Well, when I looked at it, did you know that there's about 5 bonus tracks?
On what?
On the Elvis one. And there's 5 bonus tracks of people that I've never heard of.
What are you talking about, mate?
Well, do you remember last week, Nick?
No.
We were talking about the free Elvis CD that the newspaper was giving us.
Oh, okay.
Well, on the record, I had a look, and they must be new artists. They've got 5 bonus tracks by people I've never heard of.
On this CD that they were giving away?
They had... Have you ever heard of Gurley Graham?
No.
No. Incident 120?
No.
Potter?
Potter?
Yeah.
No.
The Valleys. These are all artists.
I doubt it.
And Joseph Patterson.
Oh, no.
No. I mean, I haven't played them yet, so I don't know what they sound like.
Oh, go on, stick them in the slot. Give it a go, Philip.
Oh, right.
Press play. I double dare you.
Yeah,
not now. Not now. I don't want to hear it now.
Because it's Dean Martin tomorrow.
Is it?
Dean Martin, you've got to get Dean Martin.
Well, I might take that one.
And the Moray, and all them songs that he did.
Right.
So, you're talking about autographs.
All right.
I've got Bernard Manning's.
Really? And how did you get that?
Well, Well, I never saw him. What it was, I went in for a competition on a radio station, not LBC, I hasten to add.
And the prize was Bernard Manning's autograph.
Oh, no. On a record, because he was a professional singer, you know.
Was he?
Yes, he's quite a good singer, and I've got his record singing "How Do You Mend a Broken Heart" by Bernard Manning, and he signed it for me.
Right. If it's Bernard's, don't bother.
Oh, why? I mean, he can sing.
Right. Well, he can sing from now until the cows come home, and I still shan't be interested.
Oh, well, you know, because he used to do the wheel tappers and shunters.
Yeah. Well, who didn't? Give Order and all that.
Oh, Colin Crump.
It is like walk down memory lane with you, Philip. I've got to drag myself into the new millennium though, and we've got the ads coming up.
Okay, all the best.
Ta-ta. What a sensational act he is. Literally, having a conversation with him, you couldn't... when you stop and he jumps in, it's almost as though we're reading a script, because there's no pause at all. It's like he's quivering to get out of the traps, and he's in instantly. It's a professional job.
And he can't
time.
even see you as well, which is even better.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you imagine?
You can never take a breath.
You can now.
Ah. Now I'm relaxed. Hey, Joan.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Hello, Joan.
Well, I can confirm that you are the cream.
I'm the Queen.
Cream?
Oh, cream.
Yeah, I've heard you, I think, a couple of Sundays.
That must be a mistake.
Well, probably. But you got in there anyway, that's the main thing, isn't it?
Right, I suppose so, yeah.
Yes, and I'm very pleased that you continue to be very sceptical about the temperatures. The weather temperatures.
Well, it's not quite warm enough for me, not yet. Another 10 degrees and it'll be just about there.
But evidently, it is on record that in 1949, I think it was, 16th of April, 81 degrees.
Well,
How come nobody's mentioning that then?
I don't know, Joan.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not making it up?
No, I read this in questions and answers. So it's true, isn't it?
Must be, I suppose, yes. Wherever that is.
Yes, and did you get wind of this programme that was on last Sunday? You remember ages ago, not ages ago, but a while ago, I was talking about the silver iodide pelleting of clouds that brought on rain, and a lot of countries were using this method. Do you remember?
Well, they were seeding clouds in order to prevent it raining on Wimbledon or something like that.
Well, it was really to make rain. In the first instance, it was to make
Yeah, but to make rain fall somewhere as opposed to somewhere
where they wanted
else.
it before.
Yeah, exactly.
And evidently there's a big programme about it now. It's all out in the open. It's all being talked about. Oh, yes.
Well, the only thing worse than being talked about, Joan, is...
It's not being talked about.
That's right.
Which
which didn't have anything to do with what you were saying, I know.
Well, I don't mind. I had a very interesting argument with a couple of Frenchmen this afternoon along the same sort of lines, really.
Huh.
Yeah, I felt like an argument.
Well, it's always best to have an argument with people who don't speak your language very
yes,
well.
they did, unfortunately, yes. They were well able to speak English, so I didn't have to bother with French. I didn't tell them I could speak French, because they would have expected me to do it, wouldn't they?
I find it interesting that the interviews with football people, this is the last time I'll mention football, by the way, it has nothing to do with actual football, it's just that the way that they speak, because we've got a lot of foreign players in this country, naturally enough, and so, and they're usually the ones that win matches, and so they always want to have a conversation with them about their fantastic goal, or whatever it was that they just did, and they'll be Portuguese and French and Brazilian and who knows all what, and they speak English better than the English players that they interview afterwards. They're expressing themselves with words of, more than 2 syllables, and then the English players come on and they just seem to they seem to have 5 sentences between them. Oh, well, it's a team effort, and the lad's done great, and,
done great, yes, that's a big phrase, isn't it, of the day?
So it seems that footballers from other countries are more intelligent than footballers from this country.
They probably aren't, but they sound it.
Well, they probably are, Joan. If they sound it, if it sounds like it and
Yes, it
they
works,
act like
doesn't
it,
it?
then they are. And that might be an explanation as to why.
How do you mean they act like it, though? How do you mean they act like it?
Well,
Do you
okay.
mean they do better football, or...?
Well, no, they act in a way more befitting a gentleman outside of the game. I mean, who acts who represents the game better, Wayne Rooney or the Vavavoom guy? What's his name?
I don't
Truth. How can I possibly have forgotten him?
Thierry Henry.
Thierry Henry. Exactly right. Yes. Well, it's the Frenchman every time, right?
Well, I haven't had
who
any
would you
argument.
rather have living next door to you, Joan? I rest my face.
Oh, goodness. But that's not the argument. You said they were more intelligent. And all I'm saying is they might sound better, but are they actually? Because
Yes,
I haven't
they
had an
are.
argument with them, have I?
Well, I don't know. It sounds like you could start an argument in an empty room, Joan.
I'd like to sometimes. You know, it's better than... Well, I do. Sometimes I just shout at the ceiling, you know?
Well, me too, yeah. Sometimes I'm walking along the street muttering to myself, having an argument with somebody that I've just made up, you know, in my mind, or I've just brushed against somebody and they'll walk by as though and nothing has actually happened, but in my mind, I'm blowing the situation out of all perspective.
And by the way...
And it usually ends in death.
You actually sounded as though you knew perfectly well that cat never did travel all those miles, and you were so sure.
Huh?
You sounded very sure that cat didn't travel all those miles.
Well, I don't believe a word of it.
I absolutely believe it.
Well, I think it's absolute nonsense.
Why
How
do
can
you think it's nonsense?
I'll find it and I'll read it again. It's a very short story, and let's see if anybody can believe this. I've called it Cat Nav. A cat given away by a family tracked them down to their new home 500 miles away, despite never having been there.
Yes.
3-year-old Mimine averaged just over a mile a day, taking 13 months to complete the journey from Toulouse in the south of France to Trevoray in the north.
And this can happen because I've heard it time and time again.
Rubbish.
Yeah, and one cat actually came off an island, got a boat, and ended up somewhere.
Did it make the boat itself? Joan, you're talking nonsense.
I am not. Cats can do this.
Cats have an extraordinary sixth sense, and this is what was used, says vet Marie-Pierre Francois.
There you go. French and a vet. Now, what can you better? She's got to know it. She's got to, because I've read story after story about cats who find a way and take months and months, but they get there.
Yeah, sure they do, Joan.
Why do you dispute it? I mean, why don't you say...
If you put them in a box and UPS them, they'll get there.
If they would?
Don't recommend that you do that. But anyway, Joan, I've really got to go.
Really?
Yeah, a cat's telling me that I'm past the break. All right.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Joan.
Abbot. Hi, honey. How are you?
Super. Thanks for asking. Vernon Kay is to host a hunt for the world's greatest Elvis impersonator. You hear about this?
No.
The show will seek the 30 best tribute acts. They will then face a sing-off before judges in a live TV studio. One will then be crowned #1 Elvis. Guess which channel?
ITV.
BBC One.
Seriously?
That is shocking, isn't it?
Dear.
That's beyond shocking. That's like holding your head in the hands, thinking, what the hell is going on? Shocking.
And then after that, when that's finished, we could do a tribute to Nirvana band.
Actually, no, it's actually worse than that.
Oh, there is
one. Because the other programme that they're getting ready to do is recreating dance troupe Hot Gossip.
Oh, dear.
Those guys that used to ride around in leather accoutrements on the Kenny Everett show?
Yeah.
They're going to put people together and go through a selection process, and somebody on the panel will pretend to be Simon Cowell.
Oh, dear.
And then we'll all get to vote as to who we think is the best dancer.
Oh, that's bad.
Coming up on the channel that you pay for, BBC One. Isn't that incredible?
Drama or something?
Can we have a refund?
That is really poor.
I can't believe it. Like, if you told me that as a joke, I would have thought, well, it's parodical, yes, because that's, you know, it's a parody of what we're getting now, but that's not a parody, that's the truth. They're actually going to do that. I mean, I'm just speechless.
There's nothing that's not copied and made into reality.
It's almost that there's no shame at all anymore. They just come up with this stuff. Oh, let's have, we'll do Elvis impersonators. Great! Meeting's over, let's go down the pub.
It is very random, isn't it, like that?
Or let's do, magic acts, that'll be something else.
Yeah, and maybe people can copy comedians as well next. Maybe they could be like the two Ronnies.
Or double acts.
Things like that, yeah. Because I haven't seen that yet.
You will.
I'm sure. Nothing won't be done.
A university that employed a psychic to help female lecturers claim equality with men has been told it would be better off spending its money on cannabis. Lisa Turner, a psychic who specialises in past life regression, told women at South Bank University in London to use magic to increase their happiness through cosmic ordering, which urges believers to submit a wish list of ambitions to the cosmos. Right, I'll have a DB9, and I want an Armani suit, and I want an holiday in Barbados,
No, you
and I
don't
want
say
a
I want.
boat. And I want,
You don't say I want. When you cosmically order,
God, here we go.
you feel it and you believe it, and then it will come about.
Yeah, feel this. But the gender equality event, funded by the university, has been dubbed ridiculous nonsense by June Purvis, the Professor of Women's History at Portsmouth University. A Professor of Women's History? Doesn't that sound a bit weird? Women's history? What, not just history?
Does that mean there are professors of men's history?
Absolutely
as well?
not. It sounds like an opiate to dull the pain of reality, and I can't see the point, she says. The university might as well have given women cannabis to dull the senses.
Want to score some pot?
Cosmic ordering, you'll remember, shot into the spotlight when Noel Edmonds, the host of Channel 4's Deal or No Deal,
Boring!
said he believed that it helped him realise his dreams. And one of his dreams, you'll recall, was that he wanted a house in, I believe, the south of France. And so he cosmically ordered it. How did you say you did it again?
You have to believe it.
Right.
And once you believe it,
Yeah.
and you think it like it's there,
Yeah.
it will happen.
Okay, so these are the stages that he went through. So he believed that he was going to get a house in the south of France. He thought
how it would look.
Right.
Everything.
Okay,
You think everything.
the position that it would be in, how much land it would have, and so on. And then he felt that he was actually going to achieve this goal. And then he simply went out and bought it with some of the millions that he has in his bank account. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You write it on the back of your hand and then you're going to get it.
No. You literally wake up every day believing it. What would you like?
What would I like?
Yeah, let's cosmically order it for you.
Well, I would say £1 million, but that wouldn't actually satisfy.
Well, that'd be quite good for a start.
Well, for a start, it would be nice, yeah. But actually, what you'd need to be comfortable, as Mrs. Tarrant will tell you, is £10 million.
Okay, so
because then you could live off the interest. You'd never have to do another thing for the rest of your life. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
that's true. But let's think of something that you think could be within your grasp that you could have. So $1 million, perhaps? Is $1 million doable?
It's spendable.
Yeah. So therefore, it feels like it's something that's not too...
At my current rate of payment, no.
No, now you have to decide.
I have to go back to being a DJ. Hey! Because that's where all the money is.
Well, not if you cosmically order it differently. It's very complicated. But if you believe, it can happen.
Right.
See, it's that easy.
So I'll click my heels 3 times.
And you'll be in Kansas.
Yes, before you know it, yeah.
Okay, you're on Abbott.
12 o'clock.
Euro MP, but that cricket, that was what an astonishing story on the Cricket World Cup, eh?
Boring.
Oh, Struth, does it get more dull than that? And that was an exciting moment in cricket. That was it at its best. I got no idea what he was talking about. 63 runs from 3... do you have any clue what that was about, Alex? Alex?
No idea.
Oh, thank you. Balmy Euro MPs are demanding new laws to stop cows parping. Their call came after the UN said that livestock emissions were a bigger threat to the planet than transport. The MPs have asked the European Commission to look again at the livestock question in direct connection with global warming. The official EU declaration demands changes to animals' diets to capture gas emissions and recycle manure. They warned the livestock sector presents the greatest threat to the planet. Oi! What was that?
Cow in the studio.
I'll do the sound effects, thank you. Well, you've taken my... you've literally taken my thunder.
I was just adding to it. Enhancing it.
Hello.
Did you know that farming generates 18% of greenhouse gases? Or, as Toyer used to say, gases. And transport accounts for 14%. I'll say that again so you can so these numbers can sink in. Farming accounts for 18% of greenhouse gases, while transport accounts for 14%. Farming 18, transport 14.
Must be constantly parping.
Yeah, well, they are.
Good grief. That's an interesting
statistic,
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that all to do with the cows?
Yeah, cows and sheep.
Oh, the sheep give off all those...
Absolutely.
emissions.
They do, yes.
They get taxed, do they?
If we could capture and use that energy...
Wouldn't that be good?
We wouldn't need nuclear power.
Can't we use that to fuel our cars?
We wouldn't have to rely on the sandy areas for the oil, because we wouldn't need oil anymore. Yes, you probably could use it. You could just strap a cow to the bonnet.
With a
hose. Might look a little silly.
And every time you need a burst of power...
just give them another bit of grass.
Give them a nudge, yeah. Hello, Giles.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm all right.
This is a weird one, to be honest with you.
Go on.
Well, I'm in a bad nightclub in Holborn.
Yeah.
And I was just with some pals, and I was looking for my phone, and they came across the LBC number, so I normally phone Ian. And the story is, it's the honest truth. We're outside a pub in Soho called the John's Cove, and we're going through the numbers on our mobile phones. My mate happens to have Bobby Davro's number, and this is the truth. His brother works for Guildford County Council, and they have Bobby Davro's number. I don't know how, but he lives somewhere in that area. I'm not going to say where. And I thought we'd give him a ring. So I gave him a ring. He answered the phone. I didn't say who it was. So I just started talking about the Spurs match. He was incredibly into it, but the fact was I ran out of credit along the way. Bobby Davro phoned me back, asked me what it was that made the match so good, told me that he was thankful for me calling, and then told me he had to go on stage, and this is the honest truth.
What? And he didn't even know who you are?
He didn't know who I was. I just went, Bobby, did you hear the result? Because apparently he's a Spurs fan. And I just went into the spiel, went into the banter. I'm not even a football fan. My mates are football fans. They just said to me, go on, phone Bobby, see what he says. And he was a diamond fella, completely diamond.
And he didn't even ask you who you were?
He didn't even ask. And the fact that I ran out of credit and he phoned me back.
Called you back?
Is that you? But this is the honest truth. It really is.
So how was the match?
I don't know. I like football. Apparently they won. Well, apparently, like I say, I don't know anything about it.
Right. And is this the nature of the conversation that you had with him? It doesn't sound like I would have called you back.
Well, that was the thing. I mean, he was just such a nice guy.
Right. Well, that's the difference between us, yeah. Okay, well, thanks for the good news, Giles.
That's all right. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, mate. Ta-da.
Bye.
He spoke to Bobby Davro, eh? and he was... maybe it got lost in the translation, but he didn't sound his report of the match didn't sound that fascinating that you'd want to call him back.
No.
Because he didn't seem to know anything about it at all. Maybe he was just good at making
Didn't
stuff
matter.
up off the top of his head, yeah. It's, Mandy. Oh, Mandy.
Hello, Nick.
Mandy.
How are you?
All right.
Good. I heard on Nick Ferrari's show a long time ago the lady that wrote the Cosmic Ordering Service book that Noel Edmonds read.
Yeah.
So off I went to Borders and bought it, and I read it, and I thought, well, you got to try. And I think I'm going back now to about last March. I can't remember when it was. But when you order something, you have to only ask for it once, and you have to say roughly when you want it to happen. Yeah?
Right.
So I...
Why?
ordered... What?
Why?
Because otherwise, I don't know.
Well, otherwise...
It says in the book.
Okay.
So, I thought, well, I'm not going to be really greedy.
Oh, go on.
No, I said, I'd like to win 5 numbers on the lottery, because that can be anything from £500 to £1,500, yeah?
Is that what you get for 5 numbers?
Yeah, sometimes. I don't know, I never won 5 numbers.
I mean, the odds are 10 trillion to 1 that you actually
Well, yeah.
come up with 5 numbers, and all you get is 1,500 quid. I mean, if you see 5 balls drop down and they're all yours, your head would virtually explode. I mean, you'd need private medical treatment to just to get back on your feet again.
Well,
And so
anyway.
you'd actually be you'd have lost on the deal.
Well, anyway, I ordered it, I'm sorry, but my voice has gone all croaky. I ordered it for, I think it was to happen before the end of July last year.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of July, well, sort of the 5th, 6th, I got an envelope. I won £1,000 on the premium.
Oh, right, yeah.
Honestly.
On the premium bonds?
£1,000.
Okay, well, they're not connected, Mandy.
No,
You
but
ordered
Yes,
the lottery.
It doesn't matter, it was money that I won on the premium bonds before, £50. But
Yeah.
this was like the big one.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't what you ordered, though, Mandy.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it completely matters. I mean, if you'd ordered
I wanted the money.
a vegetarian, and it came with sausage on it,
No, wouldn't
that
it?
wouldn't have been any good. You'd have sent it back, right?
Yeah, but this was money. It was great. I was very, very excited. It's a really good book. It's only a thin little book.
Rubbish.
Go to Borders and buy it.
I absolutely will not do that.
Why?
Well, because the thing that she cosmically ordered was that a lot of dopes would go and buy her book, make her rich. And lo and behold...
Tiny book with big writing. It's a good book. It's interesting.
yeah, sure it is, yeah. Okay, I'm imagining something right now.
What are you imagining? What are you thinking?
That you'll stop talking about that.
Okay.
Hey, my dreams come true. You're right, there is something in it, Mandy.
Why are you being nasty?
I'm not nasty, I'm just...
I'm all croaky.
Well, go and, suck on a fisherman's friend, or
No,
whatever comes to
kissing
hand.
all those frogs, isn't it?
It's what?
Kissing all those frogs waiting to meet my prince. I've
Right.
been all croaky. Isn't that what they say? You've got to kiss a lot of frogs before you meet your prince.
Oh, don't lick them, because that will,
I wouldn't lick a frog.
well, don't lick a frog and operate heavy machinery.
Why?
You know, driving's right out after a bout of frog licking.
Is this... Am I not getting it?
I don't know.
Silly? You're being silly, aren't you?
No, I'm not. They secrete, a powerful hallucinogenic. Frogs do. Well, certain frogs do, yeah. And licking them is illegal.
Oh, I don't like them. They frighten me. That noise they make. I'm sure you can make the noise.
Yeah, the noise that frogs make, yeah.
That's a cuckoo.
It's a pigeon.
It's a cuckoo.
Or a pigeon. They both sound exactly the same.
Oh no, pigeons are ghastly.
Hey, you know why birds tweet all night now? Because they've just found out.
I found out. Go on, what did you hear?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
It's the robins, isn't it?
What?
It's robins that do it.
Well, birds in general.
Oh, I heard it was the robins. Go
Well,
on.
bees do it, birds do it, even...
Yeah.
Do it. Can't remember what the lyrics are. Let's do it.
Let's fall in love.
They tweet at night, because I don't know whether you've noticed, but birds these days they've almost like they've lost their little birdie minds, and they tweet all night long now. You think, when do they ever sleep?
Yeah.
And the reason that they tweet all night is, Not that the street lights are on, so they can't tell the difference between night and day. They tweet at night, very smart, because that's when we are quiet. See, during the day, you've got traffic noise and people mowing their lawns and radios and TVs and people shouting in the street and all that sort of business. They can't make themselves heard because the birds are tweeting away in order to mark their own territory, much as, you know, like a pussycat will go and spray itself on trees. Not again.
No,
I'm going to bring that whole song in next week. It is disgusting. There's noises of people eating kitty cats.
I've got on my window a bird feeder, because I live in a flat, obviously. And they're very vocal. As they land on it, they go to let me know they're there. And about...
They don't do that to let you know they're there.
They're my friends. About 8 o'clock at night, they stop. They go to bed. Because I feed them, they all fill up, and they go to bed. Little blue tits and great tits and robin.
Stop anthropomorphizing animals. It seems like I have to use that word every single week. People have this...
I don't know what it means.
It means giving them human characteristics. They don't go to bed.
They go to roost, okay, they go to roost.
Well, they're singing all night long because that's the only time which they can actually be heard.
Have you ever heard a parakeet?
And they're,
Is it grim?
Is it what?
Grim. Is it awful? Because apparently they shriek.
Yeah, they do. There's a flock of them near me. Weird.
Oh, no.
Bright, like luminous green things flying in
yeah.
the sky with great, long, flapping tails behind them.
And are they very noisy?
Yes. They're not as noisy as the ravens or rooks or whatever they are, the birds that sound like they're throwing up all the time. Like that.
Don't they get on your nerves, the parakeets?
Not really. They're not. They seem to be occasional visitors.
Oh, right. They're not living in a tree near you or anything. I think they live quite high up in a tree. Not low down. Like robins and stuff. But they're
They live
very
high up in a tree?
Yeah.
They're birds. They can live in any part of the tree they like.
They go for the top of the tree.
Do they?
Hmm.
Anyway, that's why birds tweet at night, is because they want to mark out their territory and attract other birds for some hot bird loving.
Where have you got them tweeting?
And they can only be heard at night, because that's when we shut up.
Do you hear them tweeting at night?
Up 24 hours a day they are, and it's all our fault.
Not where I am, because I'm quite rural, and it's quiet here during the day.
Right.
But are you quite noisy where you live?
Am I nosy?
Are you noisy?
Am I noisy?
Is your area noisy?
No, not really.
No, I'm not noisy. Noisy? But my birdies don't sing at night. So that's because I'm rural. I'm in the country.
And special.
I am.
Don't forget special, Mandy.
I'm very special.
Yes, you are.
You know that,
and we love you for it. I've got to go, Mandy.
Thank you.
Thank you. We only hope that you're happy with your little birds.
I enjoy working with people.
The makers of Prozac have developed a version for dogs. Dogs. A version of Prozac for dogs comes in a chewable form with a tasty beef flavour. The antidepressant is being launched to the pet market by the drug company Eli Lilly to treat dogs which bark incessantly or chew furniture when left alone. I'll send a packet over to you, Luce.
Mine doesn't chew the furniture when I'm out, just when I'm in.
How do you know? You're out.
No, he just goes to sleep when I'm out.
How can you possibly know that?
Because I'd have ruined furniture all the time. Because his favourite thing is to eat plastic bags. So if he hears a plastic bag, I find he hurtles around the house with a plastic bag on.
That is one stupid dog, if you don't mind me saying. Hey, that's reception calling. Maybe the papers are here.
I should think so.
Clinical trials showed that the drug significantly reduced the symptoms of separation anxiety, which is estimated to affect between 10 and 20% of little domestic doggies. So they got Prozac for dogs now. Like they aren't giving it enough to children. They're all on Ritalin because what used to be thought of as just playing up is now considered to be, you know, a psychological condition that we need a cosh of drugs to cure.
My friend's dad in America.
Oh, lovely. Thanks. Bye.
Gave his son cat Prozac.
Dude, it sounds like you're on Prozac.
I know. I couldn't.
Wake up.
Hello.
Lucy distracted me with her papers. Malarkey. No, but my friend's cat was put on Prozac by his father, who was a vet, and he prescribed him Prozac.
That's just... That makes no sense to me at all.
I saw the prescription as well that he'd written out for the cat.
Oh, I definitely thought there was a joke coming there.
No, that's it.
Right, and what were the symptoms?
I don't know. Depressed cat.
Not playing with balls of string.
Not playing with
staying
fake
in his
mice.
room all day.
No meowing.
Insufficient cat happiness.
Off his kitty cat.
Off his kitty head. Derbyshire. Hello, Alan.
Good evening, Nick.
Alan.
How are you?
All right, mate.
Jolly good. I understand you don't like Doctor Who.
Not as much as I don't like Torchwood, but I've just stopped watching it because it's for children.
Doctor Who for children?
Yeah.
Well, you must admit it's done fairly well to come back after all these years.
It's a well-made programme, but I just think that there's so much other television to watch, I just can't waste my life watching children's programmes anymore.
Oh, God, come on, sort of, with things like Big Brother on TV these days, you sort of...
Right,
you've
well,
got to have
ditto.
a little bit of escapism.
No, ditto. I can't waste my life watching that anymore either.
Oh, no! But also, could I ask your opinion on the TV series Knight Rider?
I've never seen it.
Well, I'd also sort of like to say, do you know somebody who you actually work with is a huge fan of Knight Rider? It's probably somebody he likes to hide away.
This is... didn't we have this conversation last week?
Yeah, I'm getting deja vu.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
yes.
I believe so, yeah. I would have said that it was Ian Lee. And I think I said the same thing last week, and I was wrong. And I can't remember who it is now, and I have no desire to find out. Ladbroke Grove. Hello, Helen.
Hello, Nick.
Helen.
How are you?
I'm all right.
A slight change of subject.
Yes, please.
I had to do a double take. I was in Ann Summers, and guess who I saw browsing? I couldn't believe it.
Ben Shepherd.
No, Anne Widdicombe. I couldn't believe it myself. It must have been her double.
Anne Widdicombe in...
Ann Summers, I couldn't believe it.
Oh, what a horrific thought.
I don't know. She must lead a double life. Anyway, that's all I've got to say.
What was she shopping for?
Oh, that would be telling. She was just browsing over the love balls.
Right.
Okay.
Whatever they may be. Thanks a lot, Alan. Please don't tell me. She was looking in the hefty section for some, lingerie. Do they make lingerie in her size? Oh, I hope not. Yes. She'd actually be better off shopping in Millets. I'm sure they make tents in her size. What an awful thing to say. I do apologise. Here is, Tallulah. Oh, Tallulah.
Hello, you.
Hey, you.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, excellent.
Super.
Yeah. You are in full speed as well.
Yeah, full speed ahead.
Yeah, nearly as speedy as Mr. Lister.
No one's that speedy.
What I want to anthropomorphize. Can you tell me the word again?
Anthropomorphize.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to do that now as well. So, while we are at it.
Go on then.
My buddy's been to the London Guitar Show today.
Right, well I sort the papers, you tell us about that. What is that?
That's fine. It's, well, he's been to the London Guitar Show and it was absolutely cool and he saw Steve Vai fiddling on his guitar and I thought that was really cool. And I thought I was completing Guitarland and I come to a guitar stall of a certain guitar company and somebody says, "Hey, Tallulah, what are you doing here?" And it was an RBC listener, and he said he would know everything about my life.
Well, you do expose yourself verbally
Yeah, but he seemed to be happy, so I must have done something right there, because he seemed to be really happy to see me.
Huh. Well, you spread happiness wherever you go. Happy. That's what you're about.
Happiness, happiness, the greatest gift that I possess. I thank the Lord that I've been blessed with more than my share of happiness.
And you can't say happiness without saying...
Hap.
And then I took my budgie out of my bag.
Yes.
To prove that it is really me.
Right. That's like your calling card. You don't need an ID, you just need a bag full of budgie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Tallulah.
Bye.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll!
Now the rich list is in with the Sunday Times. We'll have a bitch through that in a minute.
Oh, good. We thought that was last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah. It was a big build-up. Well, it must take them forever to make it. Brown to tax our gardens. The Sunday Express.
What?
Good grief. They're
Another tax?
Yes, they're going to rejig the way that they charge us for water as well.
Are they?
Yeah.
What, aside from the meters?
But they're going to, because it's something like it's based on the rateable value of your domicile, which was how much rent you used to be able to get in 1972, something like that. So they're going to change it all now, so you can expect to pay a lot more. Anyway, Gordon Brown's army of tax snoopers is plotting to slap a cash levy on every garden in England. And do you know how they're going to find that? By satellite. Those evil spies in the sky are going to... first of all, they're going to tell whether you've got a conservatory, whether you've extended out the back, and so they'll charge you more for that, because the value of your home will have gone up. Yeah, and now they're going to charge you for how big your garden is.
So we're going to get penalised for having a garden?
Whether you've got a patio out the back, and whether you've got a wooden furniture as opposed to plastic.
But that's ridiculous, because your house is
how many
worth more
burgers are on your barbecue, all of that sort of thing.
Oh... That is awful. Is that serious?
Whether you've got comfy cushions on your lounger, or whether you just, you've got one of those cheap ones you bought from Woolworths.
then your tax will be really cheap.
From October, the size of every garden, patio and outbuilding will be electronically submitted to the agency every time a house is sold. They're finding... all this information that they're gathering on us is for one reason.
More money for us to pay.
Exactly.
God, I find it so depressing.
Isn't it?
Like, there's everything. There's nothing that you can't... Do you think we'll get taxed for having a pet soon?
Almost certainly. You'll also get taxed for not having a pet.
Yeah, probably having a staircase.
The only people who can get away with... who can dodge around all of these taxes are all of these people who are in the Sunday Times rich list. None of those people pay any tax at all. With several exceptions. Most of them pay nothing, which is why they're still in that list, which is why their wealth has gone up a staggering amount, while everyone else is just struggling to get by.
But their wealth is so huge, it's beyond anyway, isn't it? I mean...
No, but they still should pay tax, just like the rest of us. They should pay 40% minimum on what they earn. None of them do.
Well, they must do.
They most certainly do not, Lucy. They don't. They flat out don't. That's why the city is full of accountancy firms whose every waking minute is designed to find ever more extravagant ways to avoid super rich people paying a penny in tax. It's poor slobs like us who are propping up the country. The people who are wafting around in their limousines, they're not paying a penny. And I'll be describing them by name as we come back.
You're wondering what it's all about, and I can't tell you because I don't know myself.
Here is, let's have a look. Which one should we go for? Here is, it's The Observer.
Boring!
Let's put that one over there. Oh, what have they got? What are they giving away?
You know what's in it this month? Oh, it's the monthly. I had my email update.
The cookery special?
Yeah.
Right, and what did you make last month?
It's a very good question.
Because you're always forever looking forward to this exciting supplement. But what do you actually make from it?
Well...
Last month, for instance. Let's nail it down. I'll make this really easy for you. Name one thing that you made last month.
From the Food
Yes.
Observer? Nothing.
Nothing?
But, may I just say that
No.
my hobby is to read these recipes, not necessarily make them all. I like to pour through them to get ideas, because I like to create my own things.
No, you don't.
I
when was
do.
Okay, when was the last thing you created?
Oh, I do all the time.
Go on. Well, again,
I don't
I'll make
call
it
them,
really easy.
I don't call them names, I just chuck stuff together.
Well, what was it?
Oh, what have I made recently?
Mm-hmm. Yes?
This is unfair.
Oh, no, we're out of time. The Sunday Times, super rich, treble wealth in last 10 years. See, that's exactly what I was just saying. How did they do that? By not paying any tax, that's how. The wealth of the richest 1,000 people in Britain has more than trebled in the decade since Tony Blair came to power, promising greater fairness. Oh, Tony Blair was promising greater Tony Blair was promising greater fairness. That's right, yeah. A 260% rise in the wealth of Britain's richest, not far short of quadrupling, contrasts with a 120% average wealth increase for the population as a whole. We're barely getting by. England still loves me, says Sven-Göran Eriksson, in the face of all the contradictory evidence. The former English soccer coach Sven has broken his silence about the team's poor performance in last year's World Cup to insist he is not a failure and that he will soon return as a manager. And this was the music that was playing in the background as he did it. I have always been able to do this job, he says in an interview in the paper today. He claims that leading clubs in England, Spain and Italy are vying for his services. Well, we're still paying him, aren't we? Something like 15 grand a week.
Are we still?
At least, yeah.
Why?
Well, we couldn't stand it anymore, so we asked him to leave.
Oh, I see,
I think
so
that's basically what it was.
Part of his contract.
And we got another, a much more successful person to to come in.
Yeah.
And nobody can figure it out. What is going on? They seem to be playing all right for their teams, but when they pull on an England shirt, they turn into a bunch of dopes. It's not the manager's fault. I mean, anybody would pick more or less the same teams as they did, wouldn't they? You'd change maybe one player or two, but it basically picks itself, the team, and then they go on the pitch, and then it's down to the players. It's not the manager. I mean, he can shout and scream from the sideline. It's not his way. I mean, some managers do, some managers don't. It doesn't seem to make much difference to the actual performance on the pitch.
Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe they don't like one another.
What, the players and Sven?
Well, the players themselves.
Oh,
so
the players
they
don't like one
act
another.
as a team well enough.
Well, that's an outrageous suggestion.
It's only a suggestion.
That they would actually scupper chances of England taking on the world just because they didn't like each other.
Well, why
I'm sure
wouldn't they?
most,
Why
I'm
are they
sure
not
most
motivated?
football people. I don't know. No idea.
Maybe they need to have a threat. They won't get paid.
Well, they have, the threat is implicit every time they step on the pitch. They're going to get mauled by the press.
Well, that's really not enough,
you
though.
donkey, they'll write.
But they don't care.
We'll string images of them up from lampposts and hurl bricks through their parents' windows. I mean, there isn't a threat implicit in playing for England, isn't there?
Wasn't it the Wags' fault last time, anyway?
Do your best or we'll kill you. That's true. Oh, it's always someone's fault. It's never their fault. It's always like Sven's fault, and now it's Turnip's fault, or it's the Wag's fault, or
Turnip?
Yeah.
Who's Turnip?
They always go with vegetables. It's so unpleasant. Here's the Star. Oh, you get a free Spider-Man ringtone. Pah. A free Spider-Man ringtone. If only, I mean, it seems like the silliest thing in the whole world. Get a ringtone for your phone. I mean, phones just ring, don't they? I mean, if you'd thought about that 10 years ago, oh, I know, well, I'll put all my money in a business that will sell people tinny renditions of pop songs so that their phone can ring, and you'd got laughed at the pub. But there's another £1 billion idea we didn't have loose.
Yeah, it's the simple ones, isn't it?
Hate Moss is the headline. Anarchist terror mob targets Kate. Page 6. Let's see what's on. Oh, yes. Young woman has large breasts. Big news in the Star. Page 6. Mayday mayhem for Kate. protest fears at store. The launch of Kate Moss Top Shop collection in London's Oxford Street faces disruption from anarchist protesters.
Oh, rubbish.
The supermodel's new range goes on sale at the chain's flagship store on Tuesday. Madonna isn't selling barely a singlet, is she?
Really? Is she doing
Crowds,
very badly?
well, they just, of course they could just write this because they don't like Madonna anymore, but crowds did not appear, and there's much still available. Because normally, this mad group of screaming crazy women descend and just pillage, basically, don't they? They raise
All
the
to
place
dress
to the ground. Yeah.
like Kate Moss. Weird.
Yeah, all to look like,
So they all walk around looking like each other?
spotty, wonky-eyed, druggy, out-of-it freak. Yeah. It's the look of the season. Very fashionable. May the 1st is the biggest day for street protests, with anti-capitalist groups planning a string of demonstrations in London. And blah, blah, blah. They're still doing that, and what they'll do is
Her stuff is going to fly off the shelves.
Why? No one has any idea.
It will, though. It
Why?
will. There's been a huge amount of hype with it. And people can order it all online as well. And it
Oh.
will. It'll just go.
So I'll be able to not buy it from the comfort of my own home?
Well, you could, but you've got to get up at 6 in the morning.
So the May Day demonstrations, that'll be, they'll pick up a piece of scaffolding and throw it through McDonald's windows. That'll show 'em. The Sunday Telegraph, a free puzzle magazine inside. Testing teasers including Sudoku, Kakuru, Hitori and Hashi. Like Sudoku wasn't bad enough, now they got... I've never even heard of these things.
I never played the other ones, no.
They sound like yoga manoeuvres.
What was it, Hitari?
Kakuro, Hitori and Hashi.
Oh.
Which is probably pronounced Hashi. Anyway, that's what you get inside the Sunday Telegraph. I've recently started to fill in crosswords. Back in the Telegraph. Do the quick crossword relatively quickly, and I've strayed onto the more difficult territory of the cryptic crossword.
Very good.
And do you notice that I'm much less stupid now?
No! You're very sharp tonight.
The Telegraph. I guess I'd have to go inside to find something interesting. Cover-up of £1 billion hole in Britain's Olympic bid. Now, a long time ago, when they were saying it was going to be 3 billion, I said it was going to be 12, and that's the figure that I've stuck with ever since. And their stated figure keeps creeping towards my. Well, it was a fantasy figure at the time.
I think it'll overtake that, to be honest.
I said 12. They were saying 3. Oh, no, it's definitely going to be 3. They said 12. There's now a £1 billion black hole in the finances of the London Olympic Games, which is going to bankrupt us all for 2 weeks, and that none of us will actually go and see. We'll all see it on TV, just as we would if it was in France. Because
I'm determined to go.
No one will go to spend 150 quid to see people running in a straight line.
Won't they? I think they will.
Bottom-numbingly boring.
I feel like I want to go after all the amount I've been paying.
Well, you won't be able to. There's not a single thing that anybody will want to see that there'll be any tickets for. It'll all be corporate, and it'll all be way too expensive. I'm telling you right now, you'll sit and watch it on TV, just like the whole rest of the world. The difference is that you'll be paying for it for the rest of your life. None of the people in the rich list will be paying for it, by the way, because they don't pay taxes, with a few exceptions. You have to say that, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
What do we got now? Ministerial aides were told by accountants 2 months before the bid submission and 10 months before the capital knew it had been chosen to host the Games that the estimated bill for the Olympics of $3.4 billion was significantly short of the mark. Yeah, right. Now they're saying that the revised bill is $9.35 billion. So they initially said three some, now it's 9 some, 3 times as much.
Oh, I thought it was higher than that. I thought
So they're just making it up. They've got no clue. It's just, oh, well, we don't care because it's not our money.
Slap another billion on.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference to them because they're just going to make us pay for it, whatever it is. And you know what's going to happen to all of those great facilities which are out in a part of London that nobody in their right mind would want to visit? They're just going to put a padlock on them and leave them, just like they did in Barcelona and Greece and Australia and everywhere else that they've had the Olympics lately. But they're not going to be used. Who's going to want a velodrome? And you can say, oh, well, they'll change it to be a basketball court. No one's going to want that either.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
No one's going to want to go all the way over there. People will pay a lot of money to leave. The whole thing is I don't know. Everyone was jumping up and down with glee. Oh, we got it, hooray! And then the dawning realisation came over people and they thought, oh no, we got it. News of the world. Harry, well, that's not very royal language, is it? I'm S 4 stars ing myself.
Right.
Prince reveals Iraq fears but vows to do his duty. Action man Prince Harry has spoken for the first time about going to war and frankly confessed, I'm S 4 stars ing myself. As controversy raged over sending the young royal to Iraq, he threw a farewell party for pals on Friday and in a moving down-to-earth speech declared, oh. He doesn't speak like that at all.
No, isn't that the one you do for his grandfather?
I'm a nervous wreck, he said. I've waited a long time and just want to get out there and serve my country. Good for you, Harry. You're going to be, it's going to be a complete pain in the neck for everyone around you. And you're not really going to want to be there because who in their right mind does? But he's going to... a head of steam is built up behind him, so he's going to have to go. Otherwise it will be massive loss of face all round. Just fingers crossed that he's not one of the statistics. Because, you know, people get killed there every day. Because basically they're just like sitting ducks. They have to sit there in 50-degree temperatures, living in tents, which get bombed on a daily basis. Something like 40 tents in the in Basra or wherever hellhole that I was reading about the other day. 4 tents out of 40 weren't hit. Great. It's like, what's the point? Anyway, he's going to be over there, and they're going to be gunning for him, literally and metaphorically.
Mm.
And on and on and on it goes. Hey, Beckham's have bought a place next to the Cruises.
That's nice.
Beckham's set to buy £15 million pad near Tom.
Well, aren't Katie and Posh Bessie mates now?
Well, I passed the Church of Scientology's place in the poshest city of London just the other day.
Oh, did you?
I went to see the Gilbert and George show at the Tate.
Ooh.
Last chance. I get them now. But previously I thought it was a bit of a one-hit. It's like just one idea over and over and over again. There's pictures of us doing unpleasant things. Some of them really quite staggeringly unpleasant, and doing them blown up to be very, very big indeed. But having seen a lot of it and heard the commentary as you go around, I get it now.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Hogarth, I saw that as well. That was tremendous.
You?
Too late now, it's gone.
Oh, we've got a nice Hogarth print at home.
Oh, that's nice, Liz. Please, tell me more. This is the £15 million mansion that Posh and Bex want to snap up and see who's already cruised into the neighbourhood. Superstars Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes live next door. Mind you, next door. For them, you'd first need a telescope to see them. They're so far away, so I don't think there's
Still
any...
have to drive down the road in a 4x4,
exactly, yeah. Tarrant said he loved me, but he was sad. He was a sad, cheating, selfish rat.
It's Ingrid.
Said, no, a former Modu, Carol Hesford. What else? What else is in the Super Soaraway? Snooze of the World. Bondage-crazed Amy Winehouse just can't beehive in bed. Get it?
Yes, with her hair.
Kinky screaming 5 times a night sex games.
How old is she?
20... Oh, no, wait. Her beau is 21. She is 23. Is that all she is?
She looks a bit older than that, doesn't she?
Yeah, at least 10 years older than that. How can you amass that many tattoos at such a young age? I like the way she sings, though. You can't understand a single word she says. She sounds like she's channeling your drunk dad. It's kind of like that. But very jazz.
Oh, I like it.
That's what I'm saying. I said I
good.
like it. Yeah. But,
you can sort of... Once you get into it, you can pick up the words more, I think.
I wouldn't want her as a neighbour.
No.
Particularly upstairs.
Come on, we're running late!
Front page of The Independent, they're giving you a free CD of the British birds.
Oh.
Well, you just open your window.
You can check out the pattern of those swifts now.
I suppose that would be a nice thing to, like meditate to. Some people have the sound of crashing waves.
I hear police sirens.
And some people would like a CD of the sound of British birdsong. And the front page headline is "Respect!" exclamation mark. Good manners to be taught in all schools. Classes to combat rudeness and antisocial behaviour. Children in secondary schools are to be taught emotional intelligence as part of the national curriculum in an attempt to combat a growing tide of rudeness, violence and lack of respect. With the debate about the lack of civility among young people reaching a new pitch, ministers are planning to roll out social and emotional intelligence classes to help children to cope with anger and frustration without resorting to violence or swearing. Yeah, that'll work. See, the problem is, I know what the problem is with this country. The problem, and it's the same problem that results with us having the highest teenage pregnancy rate, it's the highest drug-taking rate, the highest rate of alcoholism, the highest rate of street muggings, of divorce, of all of these things. It's because all of these things are considered hard, cool. They're,
rebellious.
Yeah. Other countries, these things are not socially acceptable.
Yeah.
To wit, if you go to Amsterdam, the only people rolling around stoned and drunk are British tourists. Amsterdammers will tut at you because it's not socially acceptable to be to have your eye to be so stoned that your eyes are looking in two different directions at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Not socially acceptable. So Amsterdammers will tut at you. British think it's cool. Yeah, we're hard.
Do they, though? Do we really think it's cool?
Yeah, absolutely. Kids do. Kids are the ones that are doing it.
And
we think it's cool to be so drunk that we can't actually get in a cab without
but the thing is, that
fumbling
starts younger.
for the handle and falling over backwards like a tree.
But that carries on now for longer as well, even though it starts younger. I feel like that kind of juvenile behaviour is something that still carries on, like in your up to 30s for some people, isn't it? And it's still like seen as it's almost like you're hanging on to your youth because we're all much younger now and our
exactly.
It's really weird
because it used to be that you reach a certain age and you'd be going down pit. You haven't got any energy left to
But I think people are still burning themselves out now by carrying on all these lifestyles while still working. I mean, it's okay if you're young in your teens or at university when you've got time to do it, but when you're still trying to hold down a full-time job and going out partying madly, I can't see how people keep going.
No, that's not the problem. Not partying madly. It's the anyway. Well, and
everything,
And they'll never solve the problem. And this one problem is the cause of basically all society's ills in this country, and it's the reason that we are so bad in this country at everything compared to almost every other country. I mean, we're drunk more, and we're stoned more, and we have sex at a younger age more, and all of these things. It's all because all of those things are considered cool and hard by kids, and not paying attention in class, and, it's basically making an arse of yourself is considered, that's great. And no one tells them otherwise, particularly now when it's illegal to, raise a finger of doubt at anyone, basically. So you're not going to solve it unless you solve the problem of it becoming socially, unless you make it socially unacceptable.
Yeah.
And I think it's too late now. So we're screwed. So we might as well all move to Amsterdam,
get tutted out,
where the drugs are more freely available, but people don't take them. Just tourists. Strange that, eh? I mean, we're falling over ourselves to stop people taking drugs, and more people are taking more drugs, and they're cheaper than at any time in history. How is the war on drugs going, by the way?
Oh, fabulous!
Front page of the Sunday Mail. They're giving away a travel special. brilliant holiday ideas.
Gosh, none of the giveaways have been very good
They're
today.
rubbish, aren't they? For the headline, Slaughter. There's an attention grabber. Horror at Sony's depraved stunt to promote PlayStation. Electronics giant Sony has sparked a major row over animal cruelty and the ethics of the computer industry by using a freshly slaughtered goat to promote a violent video game. The corpse of the decapitated animal was the centerpiece of a party to celebrate the launch of God of War 2, a game for the company's PlayStation 2 console. Guests at the event were even invited to reach inside the goat's still-warm carcass to eat offal from its stomach. Oh!
That's horrible.
Sickening images of the party have appeared in the company's official PlayStation magazine, but after being contacted by the Mail on Sunday last night, Sony issued an apology.
I am very sorry that I screwed up. Totally I mean, I am so sorry. You just don't know how sorry I am. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're sorry. They're really, really sorry. And then endless pictures of Harry, who's off to, drive a desk, which is what one of the papers said, but it's the only paper that said it. Other papers are saying he's going to be up the front. But I think the Sunday Express, exclusive, Cavalryman Harry is off to war, but he'll only be driving a desk. Now, if they've got that information and nobody else has, it makes you wonder if they've just made it up.
Yeah, possibly.
Prince Harry put aside the controversy over his role in the Iraq War with a boozy send-off from pals. Blah, blah, blah. The Ministry of Defence's official line is that Harry, 22, will carry out a troop commander's role involving leading 12 men in 4 scimitar armoured reconnaissance vehicles. Don't do it, Harry! But with kidnap threats being made, the Sunday Express can reveal behind-the-scenes talks have been trying to reach a compromise in sending Harry to Iraq, but giving him a desk job, which he could do here.
Yeah, that's true.
The Peephole. Kerry Fury at benefits cheat mum. Who's Kerry?
Which Kerry is it?
Well, I've got no idea. Star gives her thousands of pounds and a house. She fiddles 60 quid a week income support. Oh, exposed. Most vile mother in Britain. Do you want to hear about this?
Yeah.
Page 10 and 11. It's a double spread, ladies and gentlemen.
It's going to be grim, isn't it?
Gloating, scrounging, whinging, moaning, stomach-churning mother who made her babies batter each other for fun asks, why all the fuss? Gloating, scrounging, whinging, moaning, stomach-churning. I saw that on an advert for a musical the other day on the Tube. Because now they have to be honest with the reviews. Welcome to the world's most vile mother. Have we got an ad break coming up? Yes, we do. Anyway, we don't hear about that, do we?
No, it's depressing. And miserable.
Gloating, scrounging, whinging, moaning, and stomach-churning. None of which can be applied to this super show. Right, the Sunday Mirror. What are they giving away? Oh, yeah, they're giving away the Dean Martin thing. Can I take that?
Yeah, go for it.
Did anybody complain that I took Tubular Bells last week? Groovy.
Yeah, the chief exec was very concerned at one of the CDs moving off the premises.
Huh. What have they got in here? How long have we got? Mr. Tony's £5 million pad in the sun. Tony Tycoon Pal gives Blair sole use of Egyptian palace. Everyone calls it Mr. Tony's house, and he's only allowed to stay. And only he's allowed to stay. The locals know him as Mr. Tony, the man who, with sole use of a £5 million whitewashed holiday palace on the Red Sea. And they expect to see a lot more of Tony Blair and his family once he leaves Downing Street for summer. Has that man ever paid for a holiday? And on and on and on. Same old, all the way through. Right, here's the thing that we're really interested in, right? Name a name and I'll find them for you. The Sunday Times Rich List.
Great. Name a name?
Yeah, who are you interested in?
Okay, Sir Alan Sugar.
Sir Alan Sugar will be under S for sugar. Really? Why Sir Alan Sugar?
Well, why not?
Page 24. I still haven't watched that programme, by the way.
Why?
I refuse. I'm not watching any more stupid reality shows, particularly ones that I've paid for already.
But that one's quite a decent one.
Sir Alan Sugar. Maybe I don't understand the...
Is he not in it?
The concept of this index. Is this not page numbers they're referring to?
Okay, Richard Branson.
Hang on a minute. Well, I'll just go from the front and work our way towards the back.
Is it going up in price, maybe?
Trumpeting good causes. Right, let's see who gives what. The good cause, the giving index. Sir Elton John is number 6. All right, Elt. His wealth, 225 million. His recent donations, 22 million pounds. That's about a tenth of what he's worth. That's pretty good. Not bad. Right, let's get to the meat of it. Here they are. Oh, well, he's a criminal for a start. And he is definitely a criminal. He nicked the wealth of his country and then fled over here with it. And that bloke's done nothing to get his money. He was just given it, just by a dint of his family. He got that rich. And that guy's crooked. And these two are definitely bent.